Oh, you are? You're live on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
so fuck this thing. I don't even need it then.
So hold on.
Just tell everyone on your Instagram
Yeah,
to go to YouTube.
I'm trying to get the link for you guys.
Before we go live on YouTube, let me get. So I'm not gonna go live on my Instagram. If that's the case.
If we're going live on this, just tell all the followers to go to YouTube live. You know what I mean?
I just shared the link with you
What's
guys.
that YouTube channel? Silk Shorts and Fast Hands.
Yeah.
You just sent your link. You said, what? You texted it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You got it 2F or no?
yeah, I got it.
Are we live right now?
Yep. Trying to put this shit together. I guess I'll just hold it.
You want to use this? I don't need this.
Right.
Yeah, use this. Did you fill the link out? The link. You could just click on it.
Let me get it.
He sent it to you. Yeah.
I'm watching our stuff right now. See how it looks.
It doesn't read the USB for whatever reason for the Macs.
Let me get this.
Yo, is there any way when the pizza comes you can get the guy to come downstairs?
No, probably not.
No? Why? You don't want to, or?
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I mean, why? What?
I respect that. Nah, just talk to him.
He's gonna be like, what the fuck? He's gonna think that we're over here about to rape this dude, rape him or some shit. I don't think he's gonna be with it.
Alright. I mean, I know he's your local guy, which is different. If we were in some spot in Manhattan, then who gives a fuck, right? Aiden, what's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? I gotta remember not doing anything disgusting like fucking picking my nose.
I know.
Yo, do you have Tony? Do you have one of those what's it called? Those cans of air?
Cans of air?
You know, like to clean your keyboard. Or
Oh,
something?
no. I don't think so.
Alright. Just want to clean my glasses. Look at that mad sand like in the crevices.
Oh, let me see. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Maji. Thanks. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's just go. You do it after we start. No?
Yeah, go ahead. We can just do the show. Let me get my mic though situated. I don't need this. I'm not gonna use it.
Well, let Tony use
Oh,
it.
yeah, let me use it then.
Yeah, you use it.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, you want to kick it off?
I kicked it off last time.
Alright.
Hold on.
We gotta talk about St. Patrick's Day. Because I personally hate it.
Okay, we talk about it.
And it's nothing against Irish or St. Patrick's, the fucking assholes. The same assholes who were like, it's Cinco de Mayo, we gotta go out. What? Alright, that's it. Wanna take a hit?
I wanna know why my fucking phone is dying while charging. It's pissing me off.
Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright. It's definitely a delay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna fuck you up if you watch it while we're doing. It's gonna fuck your head up.
Alright, go ahead.
You recording? What's up? This is FU. Looking fresh to death in the latest Supreme drop. I got a pair of vintage Carreras on. I got velour vintage Fila jogging pants on. I feel great. I look great. I smell great. And who are you?
What's up, you low-life heathens? This is Bloodstained Lane, a.k.a. the Holy Heel. Sergio Tacchini down. Nike Air 270s on the feet. Cartier frames blocking the windows to the soul. Tommy Jeans hat. Feeling like $1 million. And here we are in the Pablo Studios. Recording episode 16 of Silk Shirts and Fast Hands. The best podcast in the universe.
Hands down, the best
Hands
podcast.
down.
We have to actually, I think, roast the show because we just number one, we didn't even fucking support Tony at Made by Pablo.
Fucking asshole.
He had a show this past Saturday. It was for fashion designers, for fashions coming up and coming. And we didn't even go, bro. We're pieces of shit.
I mean, honestly, the show's the most unorganized, dysfunctional. We don't communicate ever.
No, not at all.
Like we just randomly hit each other up. Oh, let's do a show.
Yeah.
I'm never punctual, right? I'm late all the time.
All the time.
Every single time. I was late for my son's birth. Okay.
We have to keep rolling back the start time so that he'll come a little earlier. Like
Right, we gotta say
used
like
to
3
start
o'clock.
at 6.
He'll come
Now
here at
we're
5.
starting.
They
at
have
5.
to lie about the time. They
Yeah,
have
we
to
gotta
say
lie.
5 just so I could be there at 6.
Right,
But they
exactly.
really want to start at 6, but they have to tell me 5.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, but this is episode 16. You know what I mean? We're about a year and a half into this show. You know what I mean? We're happy where we're at right now, but we continue to grow. You know, F. What do you got to say?
Nothing, man. It feels good. The response from the audience is great. You guys are doing great. The call-ins are epic. I don't know how we have such an epic show, such great content, and we're so fucking disorganized. Like we come in, we ruin Tony's life for a day. He's got to set up. He's got to order pizza and shit like that. And we still come up with great shit to do and great shit to say.
Yeah, and something you want to talk about? You were talking about a coworker beef that you had.
Yeah.
You want to address this?
Well, I mean, not first, but I do want to hear about transgender Ron Jeremy. We can't give real names, but who is this guy? What's his beef? What are you gonna do with this guy?
So did I ever really talk about the beef with transgender Ron Jeremy, the story, the background story?
Not on the show.
Okay, so I feel it's time for me to address this this situation.
First of all, he looks like a transgender Ron Jeremy. That's why that's his name. If you didn't pick up on that.
Okay, so here's the story of the show. I know this kid for about 18 years, right? At the time I was living with my grandmother, right?
When you first met him.
Yes, and his parents were renting out the middle floor of my grandparents' house. Okay. He was living in Long Island, and ironically, he moved into the house too. We lived together in the same house. Okay. At the time, I was with my baby mother.
She lived with you?
Yes, at that time I was living with my baby mother. Coincidentally, we end up at the same job. I'm not going to talk about my job. You know what I mean? We end up at the same job. He used to, knock on my door. We used to talk. You know what I mean? Because now we live in the same house and we work. Like this is just like a free coincidence.
Right.
He met my baby mom. At the time, my baby mom was an exceptional, beautiful woman. He went back and told coworkers that, yeah, Bloodstain's wife got this big rack, this and that, talking sexual about her. So word got back to me. Word got back to me on it. Me and my father checked him and confronted him. He started crying. You know what I mean?
No,
Literally
literally
crying
Okay.
with tears. He got scared, and 2 weeks later, he moved out. At about 6 months later, he goes to a different yard, and I go to a different yard.
Okay.
Work locations. I didn't see him for a very long time after that. I didn't see him for about 11 years. 2012, we end up in the same yard again, right?
Okay.
So when I see him, you know, that's whatever. Bygones be bygones. It was in the past. We were both young at the time. I was 19. He was 20. You know
So
what I
let
mean?
it go.
Yeah, let it go, whatever. So one day I'm in the locker room talking to the guys, right? You know, locker room talk. He comes in, and I guess I'm blocking the entrance, and he pushes me.
Really?
And he goes, "Get the fudge out my way. Get the F out my way." I'm trying not to curse anymore, okay? That's one thing. I'm gonna curse, but I'm trying my best not to. So I say, yo, Pete. His name is Pete. I said, "Don't ever do that again." But I'm not gonna lie, caught me off guard. Like, you know, when somebody does something to you and you kind of like don't react and you're like kind of like trying to take it all in.
Yeah.
So I said, and he gets on my face like, "What are you gonna do about it?" So I shoot a double leg takedown and slam him to the ground. And I got him, my forearm pressed on his neck. And I'm like, "Yo, you gonna stop or what?" He goes, "Yeah, let me up, let me go." I'm like, so he gets on, "Yo," I go, "What's your problem, man?
Alright.
Why'd you do that for me?" He's like, "I'm sorry, bro, you know, this and that." I'm like, "Bro, not for nothing. After all the history we had, you should be walking on eggshells with me." You know what I mean? So, he started doing these videos from a mutual friend that we have, okay? A mutual friend. Now, some of the videos have some half-truths in them, and some of them are just fabricated lies. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were kind of funny. I thought they were actually really good promos, and I don't take myself that serious, you know what I mean? So I said, let me create a feud out of this, a rivalry, and sell it to the people.
Alright.
And it was a real feud, believe it or not. It was a legit feud, but it was like a worked shoot.
Okay.
So in wrestling terms, it's a work, like a work means it's, you know, it's scripted, but at the same time, it's a shoot means like this is how he really feels.
Right,
but I know
right.
about what he's saying. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he kept doing the videos, and I kept pumping them out there for the people to see. Now eventually, I knew I was gonna catch him. You know what I mean? I knew I was gonna catch him. So my plan was to let this storyline go for about 2 or 3 years. And then there's gonna be a culmination of when it ends. So one day,
Did he know about this? Like, did he know that you had planned?
he didn't know that.
Okay.
This was a straight shoot. Now.
Right. Okay.
This wasn't a work. So one day, I'm done with work. We're both done with work. We left work. I see him tying his shoe, and he put his lunch bag on the ground. So I told my boy, the big O, I said, "Bro, do me a favor. Put your phone out. Record this." So I creeped up on him, and I started choking the living shit out of him. That's that video when you see him, he's like this grabbing, right? I'm from behind choking him. So, I put that out there. Like, people loved it. People loved it. But he didn't like it, so he wanted a real match. So I said, "All right, let's go." We had a real match, wrestling match.
Yeah.
I took him down, and on 2 occasions, he said, "I give up, stop." I made him say what I wanted him to say. You know what I mean? Apologize. And that was it. So now, basically, it was over. There was still a little tension between me and him. You know what I mean? I don't hate the kid. He's actually a funny. He looks like a 1980s sleazy B movie.
He got greasy long hair.
Actually, a greasy long ponytail, like a little cheesy 80s stash, overweight. He looks like the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He's just like a sleazy 80s dweeb. You know what I mean? So, whatever. So now, the other day I'm at work, and my boy, the big O, sends me a text, and it's a video of, it's dark, and it's a guy with a hood on, and in the video, let me see if I can find it.
And his CG Ron Jeremy.
Yes, it turned out to be TG Ron Jeremy with an angle change. So in this angle change, it seemed like, I guess since he knows I'm a Christian, a believer, he's playing the angle that he sold his soul to some dark Haitian voodoo priest. So
I thought it was funny.
Let's see if you guys can hear it. I don't know if it even plays. in his video, he's saying, "Bloodstain, I'm coming for you. You're gonna get punished, and I'm not coming alone." And then the camera goes to some Haitian voodoo priest, and I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. I put it out there, and we might renew this rivalry with a new angle change. He's gonna have the Haitian voodoo priest in his corner, and we're gonna get. I think we're gonna do a round 3.
That's funny.
We're gonna do a round 3 of this. So that's my work-related issue. So it was more of a work shoot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But there is tension.
But it was tension. I think the tension's over. I think now it's just fun.
Right,
but who knows? I don't know. Like, honestly, sometimes I don't know what he feels.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's a man, and his videos of me choking him out.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? So, whatever.
Here's what happened with me.
All right, let's talk about your situation.
I want your guys' opinion because, so basically, what happened was I'm working. My boss tells me, "Hey, listen, you got to get out of here because you got to go do something early." So I go and get my truck. I back my truck in, and this other guy shoots in front of me and tries to back in. Obviously, I don't let him. So I back my truck in, and he gets out flipping. Mind you, this guy is like a short, skinny. This looks like I'm bullying this guy, right?
Yes.
So I go, I'm like, hold on a minute. I compose myself. I'm like, hold on a minute. Let me talk to you. When I go do that, he's like, nah, fuck that. He's like, fuck that. Leave me alone. You gotta learn. You gotta do this and that. You know what I mean? I've been here longer than you. Blah blah blah. So I fucking flipped.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Plus, we're in front of all my other coworkers now. I'm like, who the fuck you think you're talking to? I'll knock your fucking teeth out. You know what I mean? He's like flipping. I'm like, you know what? Clock out. I didn't want to do this on company time. I'm like, clock out. Me and you, let's go fucking around the corner right fucking now. Nobody comes with us. Me and you fucking clock out. Let's go. He was like, no, leave me alone. So now I'm pissed. Now I'm calling him a faggot. I'm telling him fuck his mother, fuck his family, fuck him. I'm screaming. Now I'm fucking screaming at him. Oddly enough, he starts crying too. Now, he's not bawling crying, but he's like in the corner tearing up and shit. So now I look like the bully. You know what I mean? I look like this big guy who's bullying this little guy. But that's not the case. He straight up disrespected me, man. He straight up started fucking telling me what's what, started fucking getting loud. So, I mean, am I wrong for what I did? I didn't hit him. I wanted to. My hand was shaking, bro. I wanted to fucking open hand slap him. But I didn't. I composed myself.
Now, do you think that if you put hands on him, you call the supervisors on you?
No, the thing is, he already called the supervisor on me. The supervisor had to talk with me. I told him what happened. And basically, he was like, I don't give a fuck what you guys do. These just don't do it on company time. You guys are grown men.
Okay.
So I invited him again. I said, yo, if you got a problem with me, we'll wait till fucking we clock out. Me and you will go around the corner. Nobody has to know what happens. Nobody has to know how it ends. But then you stop talking shit. Because I am going to knock your fucking dentures out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Now, is this your first altercation at work?
At this job, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm talking about in general.
No, I had a beef with some kid at my other job who, we were cool. To make a long story short, we were cool. He ordered some food, and I'm like, yo, can I have some fries? And he tried to play me in front of everybody, and like I'm begging for food. Meanwhile, bro, I just asked him if I could have a fry. We're supposed to have food like that.
Yeah.
So what I did is I took his fries and I fucking threw them on the ground. And then he wanted to fight. Again, a friend of ours kind of fucking squashed it, whatever. But besides that, that's my only other altercation. But now, when I see him, there's tension. I'm like, fuck this kid. Fuck him. I'm like, and I'm talking about kid, but he's older than me. He's like 50 years old. I'm like, fuck this dude, man. I got no respect for him. I already tried to fucking, tell him I didn't have any problem with him, shake his hand. He didn't want it. Now, if he wants to shake my hand, I'm going to spit on him. Am I wrong, though?
It's done. That's it. It's over. But you got to be careful because, these people, how many times I want to, do things, but you can't because, this is your livelihood. You know what I mean? We got children to support. And these people are rats. You know what I'm saying? But, Tony, do you have any stories? Tony, have you ever had a real job before? What do you think, F? Have you been in a fight?
In the fight? Yeah, I've been in a couple of fights.
With a coworker?
Oh, with a coworker?
Well, I mean, Tony's only been in this country about 3-4 years.
They smuggled me in through
he's
Mexican
illegal. I don't know if you know that.
Oh my gosh, he's a dreamer.
Yeah, he's a dreamer.
He's about to be a nightmare for you with Trump. Get used to it. Me and F will run the Pablo brand.
But have you ever had beef at
I had a couple. No, not at work. I had a couple fights though.
No, not fights in general. I mean at work, like tension with a coworker.
Not really. I just mind my own business. I always didn't play into the office politics.
I try to mind my own business, man. Thanks, man. I don't play into the politics and all that shit, but this guy I felt like he disrespected me, and I felt like he did it in front of everybody else for a reason. So I couldn't sit there.
Well, I say you
know what I mean?
You checked him.
I checked.
You know what I mean? And it had to happen. You know what I mean? But let's switch gears now. A lot of things have been going on.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna talk about sports first. Let's talk about. We got pizza and wings right now. Things are good. Let's talk about the Canelo steroid situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. I think. Excuse me. I mean, I'm being a fat fuck. I think he's always taking steroids. How about that? I don't think he's the only one, but I think this time, I think he's known how to either get around it or stop taking it in time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this time he got caught up. This time he didn't either stop taking it in time or he didn't do what he did to not get caught. And this time he got caught. Not to say that other people don't do it. I think a lot of people do it. Having said that, I don't think it affects his performance. I just think it's just for size. What do you think?
I don't want to accuse anybody. I mean, Canelo, I met him in person. He is built like a tank.
What are you accusing? He pissed dirty. There's no accusations. This isn't, what if?
But there's an epidemic going on in Mexico right now with the meat. Have these,
According to
fact check, go check these up online. It's an epidemic. I googled it the other day. That is the meat in Mexico. The beef has this. What's the drug that you got busted for?
Clenbuterol.
Yes, it contains that.
The meat contains clenbuterol.
Yes, it's a huge epidemic going on in.
I tried to look it up, but all I kept seeing was other athletes saying it. So I'm like, okay, obviously all these other athletes are gonna fucking say the same thing.
I bet you they were all Mexican.
You know, they were all Mexican athletes saying the same thing. Not to say they're liars, but I couldn't find anything from like a news website or a federal government type of thing.
So is this a serious thing to you?
No,
Why isn't the fight canceled? It's so serious.
I don't think it's serious. Like I said, I don't think it affects his performance. I think he's nasty regardless. I think he's just taking it for size, and he was either gonna stop and just kind of fucked up. I don't really think it's a big deal, to be honest with you. I think he was just taking it for size, not for performance.
Well, like I said,
You don't think he was taking it at all? You think it was exactly what he said it was?
I think it's exactly what he said it was. I think that he got caught up in that thing. You know, even in Mexico, it's supposedly an epidemic from the research I've done. It's not affecting the fight.
All right, but how about this? I agree. Hold on. It's not affecting the fight, but you're training for a major fight. Aren't you getting the best kinds of meats, the best kinds of beef, chicken, the best meals prepared for you? Wouldn't and you know there's an epidemic of it in your country, wouldn't
You be extra careful and make sure.
exactly
yeah.
be extra careful, have it tested, whatever the case is? Why didn't he do that? I understand he's still training in Mexico, but okay. Have your fucking steaks flown in, bro. I mean, have a fucking personal chef just for this fight.
Listen, you know what? We'll never know. To be honest with you, maybe I'm just being biased because I am a Canelo fan.
I'm a Canelo fan too.
I don't want to believe it, but it wasn't a good look. He said he was embarrassed by it. It won't happen again. He's gonna follow all the protocols now, down to the wire. And we'll see on fight night. We'll see how his body looks. You know what I mean? Because you could tell when somebody's on the juice now. For instance, when you would watch Old Pride Fighting Championship or even K1, guys were on the juice.
Right.
Guys were on the juice. Some of my favorite fighters were on the juice. Alistair Overeem. When he first started fighting, he was like this, a twig.
He got huge.
He got to the point where he didn't even look like he looked like something out of a comic book. And now he lost all that weight again because now he has to follow, the rules in Japan. They don't test the juice over there.
Right.
When he came to the States and fight, he lost a lot of weight and slimmed down. So, I mean, like I said, I've met Canelo in person. He is like a stocky bull. Just like a bull. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't want to accuse him. Is it possible? Yes, that he's been taking stuff for size. I'm not too familiar with steroids, to be honest with you. So you would say that there's steroids for size and there's steroids for performance.
Why are you saying I'm not familiar, but you were saying like as if I'm supposed to be familiar with
I don't know.
steroids?
You said before.
I didn't say that there's certain
No.
sides. I said I don't think I said I don't think he's taking it to affect his performance because he's a great boxer regardless. I think if he is taking it, that he would only be taking it for size because he's a smaller guy and he's going up to what are they fighting at 165 this time?
No, 160. No.
160.
Yeah.
So you know, I think it would just be for size. And yeah, I mean, this kind of steroid, it's not just something for size. This is something that hardens your muscles, shoots testosterone into you. It's definitely for performance. This is not the type that's just to,
So you're saying it's for performance now. You just said before it was for size.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying this specific steroid is for performance. However, I don't think that's why he's taking it. I don't think he's taking it for that. I think he's strictly taking it just so he could blow up. But this is the type of steroid that does affect your performance. Clenbuterol, it applies to your muscle. It's not just something that makes it bigger and harder.
Yeah.
It actually has testosterone in it. You know, raises your testosterone levels, which affects your performance.
Okay. So I mean, like I said, I mean, what can we do? We'll find out on fight night. We'll see. Take a look at his physique, no homo. See how he looks.
I still got Canelo.
I can notice. I'll notice right away if he slimmed down a little. Because in that first Triple G fight, he was brolic, son.
Huge.
And I think that's what slowed him down a little bit.
He will be that big this time.
Okay. So all we do, we gotta wait for fight night. Let's switch gears.
Wait, we're switching gears. We're not going to talk boxing.
No, we're gonna switch gears to we're gonna interweave between MMA and boxing.
Okay.
Or you want to stay boxing?
No.
Conor McGregor. Tony, what's going on with Conor McGregor?
I mean, I just saw a video. I saw a video of Dana White talking about stripping his belt because of his absence in the UFC.
The last time he fought before Mayweather was winning had to be what, 3 years ago? Right?
No.
The Diaz fight?
No.
Yo, somebody on YouTube asked, "What do you think about Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC?"
Honestly, it's just the Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC is just a money thing at this point. I mean, I would like to see Brock versus John Jones. You know what I'm trying to say? Brock is an attraction. You know what I mean? He's a big comic book looking villain. You know what I mean? You know what he's gonna do. He's gonna shoot in for takedowns, stay on top of you, ground and pound, hammer fist your face. So I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
But Jones has the skill to stay away.
John Jones decimates Brock Lesnar in a minute or less. That fight was to happen.
I agree.
John Jones destroys him in a minute or less.
John Jones.
Would I like to see it? Yeah, because I'm a fan of spectacles. I'm a fan of freak show fights. Because I used to love Pride and all the fights that they had over there, the freak show fights. So I'm all for seeing Brock Lesnar back in the UFC. Now, somebody just asked, am I shook of transgender Ron Jeremy? I just addressed that. I told you guys that there is going to be a third fight with a new angle. It's going to be the Holy Heel versus the new
Voodoo.
The Voodoo.
Ron Jeremy.
He sold his soul to a Voodoo Haitian priest. So the rivalry is going to be renewed, and yes, there will be video of me once again choking the living shit out of him. All right? Don't be a smartass, Larry Bird. Okay? Now,
McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
He hasn't fought
Now,
long.
Dana White's threatening to strip his belt. Conor McGregor lost his last time he fought, obviously, was the Mayweather fight.
No, I mean UFC.
Before that, I think he fought Eddie Alvarez, right? And knocked him cold. That was 2016.
Was it?
2016. Let me get the exact time for that.
So 2 years now.
He fought Eddie Alvarez November 12th, 2000. It hasn't been that long, a year and a half. It was late November 12th, 2016.
A year and a half that you're holding the belt without defending it? That's a long time.
He has to let it go. I agree with Dana wanting to strip it. At this point, Conor McGregor doesn't need. He is the belt.
Yeah,
He's bigger than the UFC brand. His name is bigger than the UFC brand. He is the belt. He's the guy that fighters have to fight to get that big payday. He transcends the UFC belt. He don't need the light. So Dana should strip it away from him. At this point, Conor can do whatever he wants. He can go into the boxing ring. He can do movies. He can fight in the octagon. He controls the whole show right now. His name is bigger than the UFC brand. So strip the belt from him, and I think we're gonna see Conor. I don't think we're gonna see Conor and Floyd right now. I think we're gonna see Conor and Floyd 2019. I do believe Floyd is going to fight in the UFC, but it's going to be against a guy like CM Punk.
Yeah, who's not really skilled.
If CM Punk wins his next fight, it'll be Floyd Mayweather versus CM Punk. It's not going to be Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. Conor McGregor will destroy Floyd in 20 seconds or less.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
I don't think people want to see him fight CM Punk, man. I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to see what Floyd can do in the octagon, but who really wants to see him? Who really wants to see CM Punk fight? Period. Not many fans, you know what I mean? So especially to make a spectacle out of it, to get CM Punk that kind of money to fight Floyd Mayweather, I don't know. I don't think we see Floyd Mayweather in the octagon in all reality at all, to be honest with you. What do you think about? I agree with you what you said about McGregor. He's the show. He's the whole show.
He's bigger than the belt.
But he's asking Dana White for a piece of the company. Like my next fight, forget about what you're gonna pay me. What I want you to pay me is a piece of the company. What do you think?
He's bugging out. He's bugging out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he can do whatever. He's so powerful. He's so much of a celebrity, an international celebrity, that, believe it or not, as I know it sounds crazy, he could do it. He has the power. The UFC doesn't have no. Conor is it. He is the UFC right now.
Yo, but this is what I think. I think that he could ask for equity in another company as far as sponsorship goes.
Right.
Some company that's dying out, fucking shoe company, t-shirt company, whatever.
Let me tell you right now. Yes, I agree McGregor is the whole show, but if he does not continue to fight in the UFC, his career is over.
Mm-hmm.
We will not see him anymore. We'll see him do little bullshit like Dancing with the Stars or try to fight some bum in the boxing ring, but if he does not return to UFC, his career is over, and that's it. He might go to WWE for a little while, but his star will start to fade fast. He's got to get back in the octagon and fight real fights.
He didn't want to fight in the UFC though. He wanted to fight UFC 22. I heard.
But he wants equity in the company, and Dana White's not willing to give that up. And why should he?
He wanted to fight Frankie Edgar, and they wouldn't let him fight him. So I mean, listen, you got to pay. You got to pay the guy. You know what I mean? You got to figure out something.
Right.
You know, to tell you the truth, he don't need the fight again. He has the money. He made $100 million for Mayweather. He don't need the fight anymore.
No, you're right.
He controls.
But listen to this. The thing is that money goes quick, especially with the lifestyle that he's living. That's why Mayweather's running out of money. I know that he has a big portfolio as far as investing goes and real estate, but you'd be surprised that $100 million to somebody like that in that position is really not a lot, especially if they're taking private jets, they're buying fucking Rolexes left and right.
Yeah. And they're probably taking care of the whole family.
And the whole he's burning millions a month. So if he don't have that income coming in,
he doesn't come from money. He comes from a broke family, so he's got to take care of the whole family. He doesn't have to, but he probably is.
If he doesn't have that income coming in, this dude, he could go broke.
I think as flashy as Conor is, he's not as flashy as Floyd with the money. You know what I mean?
Oh no, definitely
Conor
not.
seems more like a family guy. You know, from what I can see, I don't know these people. I'm just saying, from what I see, you know, he's not like Floyd. Yeah, I want another one. So I mean, at the end of the day, Conor runs the fight game right now. Whether you like it or you don't like it, he runs the fight game.
Yeah.
So you could go interweave into boxing. You could interweave MMA. You could do it all. You know what I mean? So
I think he's bugging asking for equity because I don't think it's gonna happen. And if he doesn't fight soon, his star's gonna fade fast. No, he doesn't need the money. A lot of these people don't need the fucking money, but his star's gonna start fading fast. Believe it or not, people are already kind of starting to forget about him, sort of. You know what I mean? So I think he's got to get back in there. But yeah, you got to pay him what he's worth. He might be worth equity in the business, but Dana White's not gonna give him equity. This is a business he started without him. He's had other stars, and he will have other stars. There will be another Ronda Rousey. There will be another Conor McGregor that comes along. They might not be the same, but there will be another face on the cover of Sports Illustrated belonging to the UFC, and that's why Dana White's not going to give this one guy equity.
Right,
a guy who doesn't really have that many fights in him anymore left. He's fought a lot. He's kicked fucking ass for a long time, and he will still continue, but not forever. Enough to give him stake for the rest of the company forever? Nah, it's too much.
All right, listen. Let's switch gears. Deontay Wilder just fought this past weekend against Luis Ortiz. I thought it was a very action-packed, fun fight. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on any of these guys at heavyweight. I'm not sold on Wilder, and I'm not sold on Joshua. I'm sorry. I know people are excited because it's something different. In my opinion, Wilder was losing that fight and losing that fight badly.
I agree.
I thought Luis Ortiz was so fundamentally sound. He was boxing Wilder's brains out. And what happened was just that power paid a difference in the latter rounds. I think it was round 8 when he was almost finished.
Yeah.
Wilder. I just, these guys are very fortunate to be fighting in a heavyweight division that doesn't really have.
They don't have a Mike Tyson.
It doesn't have a Tyson, an Lennox Lewis, an Evander Holyfield,
right.
A Riddick Bowe,
Right.
an Ike Ibuke. It don't have guys.
Barkley in his prime.
Larry Holmes, you know what I mean? Like, all those guys would beat those two guys, in my opinion.
Facts.
I mean, Anthony Joshua almost lost to Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko's 40 years old.
Yeah, but Vladimir fought a hell of a fight that fight.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Both Klitschko's, Vladimir or Vitaly, were in their prime. They would beat both those guys.
Oh yeah.
They would beat both those guys. So I don't think they're that as great as people are making them out to be.
Well, look, I thought Ortiz fought a really great fight, man, and he was definitely on his way to win that fight had he not gotten caught with those bombs. And yes, Wilder has bombs, definitely, but it's kind of all I mean, besides height and range, which he uses pretty well, all he has are those bombs, man. And if you can come in and take those bombs and not lose yourself the way Ortiz did, you can beat him. And Ortiz was on his way to beating him. He definitely hurt him a few times. He was on his way to knocking him down. If those knockdowns happened a little later on in the round and Ortiz could have gone on, I think Ortiz wins that fight. And that tells you a lot about our heavyweight champion. You know what I mean?
I'm going to cut you off. This pizza is fucking hot garbage. Okay?
Is this the same pizza?
No, it is, but it tastes different.
Yeah, it
I don't know. I don't know why.
Cold.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an Elio's pizza right now. I'd rather have a hot pockets pizza than this piece of shit.
Nah, it tastes
I'd rather have a
bad.
7-Eleven pizza. I'd rather have a Lunchables make your own pizza than this piece of shit.
Nah, it's pretty
right
bad.
here.
This is a piece of
Yeah, I don't know what they do
How
with it.
dare you bring me cold pizza? What's the name of this pizzeria?
Papa Sal's in Queens.
Papa Sal.
Hold on.
You a hot garbage juice. You
No,
piece of shit.
Papa Sal's
It's
has
good.
made good pizza.
No,
bro.
they consistently make good
Hey,
pizza. I don't know.
Good.
This is garbage.
I don't know what this is that they
This is
brought.
cold.
This-
It's terrible.
You want to know what this tastes like? This tastes like they imported water from Pennsylvania and make it with. What the fuck is wrong? You ever had Pennsylvania pizza?
This is
Nah.
this is
horrible.
This
It's
is
horrible.
Pocono's white trash
Yeah,
pizza.
100%.
This is Methadone Clinic Pocono's white trash pizza. I'm so hungry I
dare
can
you.
eat it. But wow.
How dare you? How dare you bring
Papa
this?
Sal's.
That's why I refused another slice. You saw that.
I know you.
Your
turned
fat
it
ass
down.
took a
I
second
did,
slice,
I'm hungry.
knowing that it was
I
garbage.
know.
I refused another slice. The wings are alright though.
The wings are okay.
But they didn't put the hot sauce on it.
Motherfucker,
No, that's what somebody was fucking. There's a new fucking chef
Can
or
we
some
get them on
shit.
the phone? Call them, please. Call them right now. Give me the phone number. We're gonna call them live on the show. Give me the phone number.
Yeah, I got you.
Actually, use that.
I'd rather have a DiGiorno pie. I'd rather have a DiGiorno pie made by Ron Jeremy, not knowing where his hands have been. This is
I'd rather have one of those Amelia Earhart pies that they sell at Western Pizza.
I'd rather have a high school pizza boat.
Oh my god.
This is what is this?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm still eating it like a fat piece of shit.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like they grab that cheese that you get, the 4 cheeses that you get in the bag, and they just put that shit on top of the pizza.
Call them on our phone. Call them on our phone line and put them up. We're gonna shit on them. I want to know who's making this pizza.
Somebody said the audio is horrible.
That's
Said,
so
bro,
mean.
the audio is horrible.
I mean, it's coming
Probably
from a
on
phone.
YouTube.
It's coming from a phone.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody said Podesta pizza gate.
Hold on.
Tony's been to those pizza parties, I heard.
Yeah.
How's the audio now, guys?
Is it good?
It's coming from the phone, that's why. It's not from the mics.
That's why it's bad.
Yeah, that's why it's bad.
Yeah.
But I raised it up, so that might help a little bit. I don't know
Okay.
if they said it's good, so.
So Deontay Wilder, what's your? If Anthony Joshua gets past, who's he fighting? Forster.
Who is he
Forster.
fighting?
He's fighting Forster. If he gets past Forster, not Forster. What's his name?
Will it happen though? Will it happen right away? I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna happen right away.
I don't
Joseph
think so
Parker.
either.
Excuse me. He's fighting Joseph Parker. If I honestly, I've seen this kid Joseph Parker fight, and he has a real chance.
Really?
He's a good fighter, the kid. So I don't think it's a gimme for Anthony Joshua.
I'm not familiar with Joseph Parker.
But if Joshua gets past him, who do you got in that fight? Joshua or Wilder?
I have to go with Anthony Joshua, only because I think he has the skills of a Ortiz, and I think he has a better chin, and I think he's faster than Ortiz. So I'll give it to Joshua. I would like to see it though. What about you? Although remember, Klitschko did knock Joshua down twice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're talking about a 40-year-old Klitschko. So I'm still going with Joshua.
I'm gonna go with Wilder. I just think he gets a freak knockout. So
Yeah.
down the fight. I'm not crazy about the fight. Everybody was so crazy about the Stipe, Ngannou fight, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think that King Ngannou was that impressive to me.
Nah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I like Ngannou.
I like him, but I don't think it was the big
Nah,
thing it out to be.
yeah,
It was
no.
overrated in my opinion. So we talked about Mayweather doing the UFC already.
Let's talk about real quick. Did you see the horrible work Danny Garcia did in his last fight against Brandon Rios?
I did.
He looked like trash, bro. Brandon Rios was winning. I thought Brandon Rios was on his way to beat him if he didn't get knocked out. This is another guy with the freak knockdown power. Definitely freak knockdown power. Danny Garcia definitely has skills. However, cherry-picked the shit out of his fights, man. He has cherry-picked the shit out of his fights. With the exception of Matisse and Thurman, they've all been fucking cherry-picked for him. This was another one that was supposed to be cherry-picked for him. But Brandon Rios, I thought, was on his way to win. I thought Garcia looked like shit.
I'll be honest with you. I've always been a Danny Garcia hater. You know what I mean? I think he lost a plethora of, not plethora, but he lost a few fights that went his way. Somebody just said in the chat room that you're the Brandon Rios of rap.
Exactly, I'll knock your fucking ass out too.
Or that means you're a human punching bag.
Yeah,
It could go either way. It could be either way. Brandon Rios is a punching bag.
He does. He takes a lot of hits.
So Danny Garcia, like I said, I don't know what's next for him. I thought he lost the fight against Mauricio Herrera. Did you watch that fight?
Oh yeah.
I thought he lost that
fight. Right after Matisse, right?
Yeah. I thought he
Listen,
lost that fight.
I thought he lost to Matisse. I did not. I had it. I didn't count that knockdown, which a lot of people shouldn't have because he was outside. Matisse was outside of the ropes. So I had Matisse winning that. Very close though. He lost to Herrera in Puerto Rico. They still gave it to him. That was fucking
Lamont
weird.
Peterson.
I don't know if he lost to Lamont Peterson.
Even the Zab fight was close.
And he almost he lost to Keith Thurman. Definitely, he almost lost to Brandon Rios.
What about Robert Guerrero?
I think
that was a good fight.
That was an okay fight, but he won that fight. I think he loses to Sean Porter. At the end of that fight, Sean Porter came in the ring. He pulled a Thurman and started calling him out in the ring. I think that might be the only way to get Danny Garcia to actually fight a real fight is to call him out in front of everybody. And I would love to see that fight. I think Sean Porter washes Danny Garcia.
I agree. I was telling you before that I wanted to see Danny Garcia versus Adrian Broner, but you didn't have much interest.
Yeah, I'm done with Adrian Broner. I'm
Broner.
over Broner, man. I'm done.
I like Broner, man. He's a shit show. You know, I get a kick out of him.
He has skills, but I think
You know what I mean? I get a kick out of Broner.
He has skills, but he hasn't. Anytime he's fought somebody really good, his skills haven't come out, and then the shit talker kind of fucking killed it for me.
I agree. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Did you see this Danny Jacobs Charlo feud that happened?
Oh yeah, that's right.
In the locker room.
Yeah. Well, they were friends, right? Weren't they friends?
They had social networking beef, and then they met each other backstage. Charlo was talking a lot of trash, and like while he was talking trash, Danny Jacobs walked in, and they had like a face off where both their entourages went at it, this and that. So now this is kind of a fight I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with Danny Jacobs in that fight.
I was just gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna have to go with Jacobs over Charlo. I think he's more athletic, and more active in there.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely a fight I want to see. Anything else you want to talk about in the world of combat sports? Is
Combat sports?
in the world of anything, in the world sporting world in general.
Let's talk about that crazy Kirk Cousins contract, man. They're giving him what, $27 million a year, guaranteed for 3 years.
These contracts are ridiculous.
I don't look. Kirk Cousins is great, but I don't think he's worth that much.
Kirk Cousins, to me. Listen, he's a good quarterback, but to give a guy practically $30 million a year who's never won anything, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Listen, the sporting contract game is ridiculous. You know what I mean? He has put on some good numbers, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Looking at his numbers now, very good numbers, but to give a guy practically $30 million a year that's never won anything, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. That goes to show you how desperate some teams are. However, with the Vikings were great last year.
Yeah.
And this might put them over the top. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a pickup that they had to make to take it to that next level because they have such a great defense and a great team in place by bringing in a quarterback who I'm not sure if he is a franchise quarterback. He might be, but I have to wait and see now.
Yeah.
I think that they took the chance and they gave the guy the money to put their team over the top for a Super Bowl run. So I guess I'm okay with it. It's just ridiculous, The contract's ridiculous in sports. You know what I mean?
I guess we'll wait and see if that's the right team for him. But I think $30 million, whatever, $27 million a year for 3 years is too much.
Exactly.
It's too much.
All right, so let's switch gears.
Why didn't you give Johnny Unitas $27 million?
Exactly.
I mean, $27 million back then was like $1 billion, but still, he maybe deserved it. But like Kirk Cousins, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We're gonna wait and see.
He didn't really wow me that much. He's a good quarterback, but I wasn't like, oh, this guy's the GOAT.
All right, so let's switch gears, man. A lot of things have been going on in the world while we were gone.
A lot of things.
Tone, what's been going on in the world? What's been happening? We had a shooting, right?
Yeah, we had the shooting, so we should talk a little bit about the gun laws, what we think about that whole situation with the shooting in the school, but what we think about what they should do now moving forward, I think is really important. People are talking about arming the teachers. Other people are talking about banning guns completely.
That's stupid.
So, I think it's a big topic. It's a big discussion.
All right, gun reform. The shooting in Parkland. The guy was a piece of garbage, right? The guy was a piece of shit. I don't think that we need military grade weapons to be available to the public. I'm not against guns. I'm not against hunting. I'm not against shooting for sport. But I don't think we need that military grade weaponry to be available for the public. I know a lot of people are saying, well, if you need to fight the government, you got to fight them with what they have. Look, man, you can't buy tanks. You can't buy bombs. You can't buy fucking, planes. That's how they're going to beat you. They're not going to beat you with AR-15s. The government is not going to come in and it's not the Civil War. You understand? Where they're going to fight you with the guns you have. They're not. They're going to bomb the shit out of whoever they got to bomb. If the government they ever had to take over cities and towns, they're going to take them over with tanks. Fuck it. So I don't think we need military grade weaponry. And I think whether we have it or not, psychopaths are going to find a way to go up in schools, go up in churches, and blow shit up because they're fucked up in the head, man. They'll make a pipe bomb with pellets and rocks and staples and nuts and bolts, and they'll walk into a school and blow that shit up, man. They'll find a way because they're psychopaths. I don't think it's really the gun's fault. I think it's the people's fault.
Okay. First off, I'm going to say, may God have mercy on the souls who perished in Parkland, Florida. Definitely a horrible, horrible situation.
Even the shooter, because he's getting the death penalty, right?
From what I've read, yeah.
I'm going to give you my opinion on the whole thing regarding that, and then I want to touch into why these things are happening all of a sudden within the last 20 years, okay? Because these things weren't happening in the 50s. They were happening in the 40s, 60s, 70s. People were going to school and shooting up their classmates, and these things weren't going on. Now, first off, as far as the shooting goes, I thought, I don't even want to mention the kid's name because I didn't want to say, give credence to a psychotic murderer who destroyed 17 families and shed the blood of innocent people who were just going to school that day. He's a demonic, low-life, satanic piece of shit. I'm not going to get too much into the conspiracy aspect of whether I think it's an MK Ultra thing. However, the kid did say that, you know, maybe in the spiritual realm, he said that he did say he was possessed by demons and used. And we've talked about this in many podcasts, is that, you know, when you're operating in a negative mind state and in a depressed, dreadful mind state, it gives your vessel easy access for demons to possess. This is from my studies. Now, I'm not even going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to talk about what can be done in terms of preventing these situations again. Okay? First off, I am a Second Amendment constitutionalist. I believe Americans should have, every American who passes psychiatric tests. I am a big fan of having psychiatric tests and background checks. Okay, I'm a big fan of that.
And there should be way more training, man. Like an 8-hour course.
I want to talk about. Okay, I want to talk about.
Well, some places you don't even need it. Some places don't even need your ID.
This is a long subject. I'm a Second Amendment constitutionalist. I'm okay with background checks. But then again, I'm not okay with background checks and psychiatric tests because I don't trust the government 100%. You know what I mean? The government might have people that feel speak their mind against things that are happening in the world that might not give them the right to have a gun based off background checks 100% with background checks and psychiatric tests. But I don't trust them 100%. Now, Trump is talking about, and like I said, I've been a big fan of what Trump has done so far. I don't like the fact that, and I don't agree with this, changing the age to obtain a gun to 21. I'm not a big fan of that.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. You're allowed to go to war for this country at 17 years old and go shed blood and shoot guns and kill people for this country at 17 years old. Okay? One 18-year-old kid who decides to take a gun and go into a school and shoot everybody, one kid out of millions of... Why should millions of 18-year-olds have to have their constitutional rights taken away from them from one 18-year-old? You understand?
Yeah.
That's like, for instance, there's 100 people in a village, right? 90% of the village is white people and 10% is black people. So there's 10 black people in the village, right? One black person shoots 20 white people, right? Why do 9 other black people have to suffer for what that one black person did? You know what I'm trying to say? That's not, they don't share the same conscience. Everybody has their own mind and their own individuality. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't feel like one 18-year-old should dictate the gun rights for millions of 18-year-olds. I think that's, you're punishing people who are good citizens. And like I said, if you're capable of going to war at 17, you're capable of having a gun at 18. I also had this argument with my dad, and my dad was like, oh, it's a good thing, 21's a good age. I said, Dad, let me ask you a question. You have a family. You have a father and a mother. They have an 18-year-old son and 2 daughters that are 9 and 8 years old. The father gets into a car accident and dies. That 18-year-old is now the man of that house. And he has to protect his family. Now, what if one day somebody breaks into his house and wants to rape his mother and his 2 sisters, and he can't have a gun to defend them? It shouldn't be about age. It should be about psychiatric and background checks.
Yeah, but that argument also falls into a 17. What's the difference between a 17-year-old now? If that same scenario were to happen, you know what I mean? Now we're lowering the age. You know what I'm saying?
But the age, it's already been set. Why do we change it? It's already been set. You know what I'm trying to? It's been set for a long time now.
Yeah, but it was set back in the days when you were 18. You were supposed to be married with children and raising your own home by then. That's when it was set to 18. Back then, when it was set, you're 18. You have your own family already. You're probably providing for your parents already. That was back then. Now we got these psycho kids dressing up with fucking rainbow hair. You understand? Fucking going up into schools. We might have to think about what we're doing. It's not their fault, but we might have to think about maybe these people, these 18-year-olds are fucking jerk jobs, and maybe we have to raise the age for these guys. We might not have had to raise the age for the greatest generation back in the '60s or '50s and shit, but now we might have to.
So you're okay with raising the age? Trump's idea of raising the age to 21.
Yeah.
You're okay with Tom. What about you?
So I mean, I don't think that the age has really anything to do with it. I just think that they have to have tests in place that basically discourage people from just being able to walk into a store, buying a gun with just a simple ID, and being able to use that to kill deer, to kill people, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the reason is. I think that they should put a lot of not just written exams, like trainings and stuff, like FU was saying. Doesn't matter about the age. If a 16-year-old feels like he could do it, let him take the exams. I mean, clearly, I think that there should be like a minimum age, 13, 15, I don't know. There's people in Russia probably right now, 13 years old, raising a family. You know what I mean? So I don't think it has to do with the age. I think it's just the mentality. It's the maturity and stuff like that. So I don't mind that Trump says that he wants to raise the age. I think what's more important is the exams and the training that they put in place before giving a gun to somebody. That's
Yeah,
more
I agree with
important.
that too. You're right.
Now, I want to touch on. I personally don't agree. So my stance is I don't agree with changing the age of 21. I believe just do at 18, take a psychiatric test, psychology test, have a background check. If you clear it,
training.
you're good. These things have never been a problem up until recently. And I want to explain to you what I want to get into that explanation a little bit. Now, Trump is saying that he wanted to arm teachers, which I'm completely against. First of all, teachers have enough to deal with unruly students as it is.
Oh yeah, that's.
I
what
could
they
see a teacher going postal one day and letting a banana clip off.
do. Hell yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I heard that. That's
Tom,
exactly
lift
what
that
I
camera
thought.
up a little, Tom. I think it's a little messed up.
That's exactly
So-
exactly what I thought when I heard that. I'm like, hell, fucking no, you don't want to.
So
Some of the teachers that we grew up with when I was in junior high school.
I know teachers that would have popped the clip in me.
No, I
They
know
would've let
teachers
off the clip.
that would throw fucking books at us, curse at us. Definitely would have popped the clip in my
They
ass.
definitely would have popped the clips. I think that's a horrific idea. I do feel like my idea from the start was to put retired cops and ex-military guys that they're retired, they're looking for side work, you know what I mean, and you put them in these schools to secure the schools.
Right.
I'm pretty sure there's there's a lot of cops and a lot of ex-military people who would love to do that, who would love to make extra money guarding schools, and they're trained in weaponry as it is. To me, that's the best possible solution.
They do that in a lot of arenas and stadiums. And
As
stuff
they,
like that.
yeah, a lot of retired cops work at guarding. I know, I spoke to a couple of them. So I think that's the best thing. Hire retired cops and ex-military to hold down the schools in case of a shooting. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's my solution on that. Taking guns away, like I said, is to me it's dangerous. You know what I believe when you want to start disarming American citizens and only people having the weapons are the government and the military. That's a dangerous precedent.
Nah, it is.
There's some Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist shit. I believe that's what's going on. I think this is the agenda that's being pushed. I believe that they want to disarm American citizens to eventually set this thing up, to set this one world government up, to set this Antichrist rulership up. And I believe this is all Soros funded stuff. Like kid David Hogg, he's a hired gun for Soros in the New World Order. And all these Democrats and leftist quacks are just, taking away guns from the American citizens, so we can't defend ourselves in case there's a totalitarian, tyrannical government, or an offshore threat, or somebody breaking into your home. No, I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. I'm a Second Amendment constitutionalist full and full. And
No, I agree. I don't think Americans should be disarmed. And again, even these kids are gonna find a way, man. A lot of them, even if they can't buy a gun at 18, even if they don't pass psych eval tests, they can steal the gun. You know what I mean? They'll take it from a family member, a friend. You know what I mean? Like I said, they'll find a way. I don't think that's definitely the way. These cycles are gonna happen, man. I think just arming not arming teachers, but having better defenses at the schools. You know what I mean? At hospitals, at sporting events, places where large amounts of people can be hurt. You know what I mean? Just beefing up security there, I think would be a good first step. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, Tom, what's your solution on how to prevent these things? You want to arm teachers? You want to arm?
No, I don't want to arm teachers. I think it's like the same thing that FU said. I mean, I think I'm trying to think of a sensible resolution or solution, something that's logical, and it just makes a lot of the stuff that we talked about. Like I agree with a lot of what you said. I agree with a lot of what he said, and I don't think that you should take away guns, but I also don't think that you should just give it that easy the way that you could buy guns right now. I think that there has to be more exams. I don't think that teachers should have guns. I think that there should be, you should have a lot more defense at the schools, at these arenas,
Right.
things that FU said. It's to me, it's a very logical, obvious thing that they should be doing this, and yet how is it that they don't do the obvious stuff, but then in the airport they'll fucking make you do ridiculous shit just to get to a fucking domestic flight, from New York to California. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because I'm sure that that is preventing a lot of bad situations. But the thing is that they could do something similar to be, especially for kids in schools and places that there's going to be a lot of foot
The
traffic.
people who can't protect themselves, like kids.
Right.
This is a slippery slope because the Second Amendment was put in place so every American can have. It was a given right, and now we're putting like regulations on these rights that we have.
Well, here's the thing.
And,
Listen, hold on. It was a given right back when we had muskets, bro. You had to load. It took you 20 minutes to load a gun. Then it was a a government given right. You get what I'm saying? That's why I don't think they should take away guns, but I also don't think that we need to be able to carry a double barrel AR-15, which they're actually coming out with now. I saw. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is that I agree with you that I think that there's some shit boiling up that we don't see.
Of course.
Some shit that's gonna happen that's about
But
to.
I want to know. Okay, we're putting regulations now on the Second Amendment, and when I was saying, okay, it have to be this test. You got to pass this test. Now you got to be this age.
Bro, we've changed amendments since the beginning of the Constitution.
I understand that, but
For
now,
good reason.
But now, do you really trust the people who are the deciding factors on these regulations? Don't you think it's possible they might have an agenda?
Yes.
And they're slowly doing these things and changing one little by little by little to a point where, all right, the next event happens. Now we're gonna do this. I'm sorry, man. I just think it's my thought is this: is that this world is a sick, twisted world,
Right.
and I think we want to try to regulate evil, which I don't think we can. I don't think we can. Things are gonna happen. I think this imaginary utopian society is unattainable. It is unattainable. It's never gonna happen. And I just think it's a slippery slope when you keep adding regulations to this, and then the next shooting happens. Then we're gonna add this, and then you know what? Enough. Now we're gonna take away the guns.
Right.
So we have to be careful. As sad as it says, this is a fallen world. Things are gonna happen. People are gonna die. People are gonna get shot. This is it. Evil's gonna do evil regardless. You could get guns on the black market. So I'm just saying, I agree with you guys. What you guys are saying on some points, but on some points, I'm very skeptical about who are the people that are these shootings even. Are they possibly staged shootings? Not that I say people are not dying, but all these kids, maybe MK Ultra
100%.
They're filling their shit with antidepressants. There's just so much. It's too much to comprehend, and I just think it's a very tricky subject that we're never really gonna have the ultimate solution. You know what I'm trying to say?
No,
Things are gonna happen, which leads me to my next point: is why in the last 20 years is this happening so much? When in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, 40s, people weren't going to the schools and doing these things. Why in the last 20 years is this happening?
Well, I mean, there could be many reasons, but like you have to think about it. We live in a different environment where technology is a big thing. So we're always on our phones. The men in this era now have more estrogen than the men 30, 40 years ago.
Definitely.
There's so many studies that'll prove that we're totally different humans. And the thing is that I don't want to sit down or spend the rest of my life analyzing different studies to figure out why are these, why is the world changing? The reality is that it's changing, right?
Yeah.
And there's some shit going on, and I think that something's about to happen, or they're working on something, right? Whether you want to call it a new world order or whatever it is, but I think that these people, whoever's in charge of doing this stuff, they're very patient people. You don't understand. Like, it's one of those things where I believe that they're so patient that this could have been going on from the first president that we ever had. And every single president, it literally is a puppet. And maybe there's been a couple that weren't puppets because they couldn't control them getting into the office. But little by little, like you said, they have a bigger agenda, and this could be something that, yeah, they could have set that kid up just like they could have set up the kid from the movie theater. I think that was a creepy situation. This dude was supposedly a fucking genius. He was studying like space travel or something. And the thing is that we don't have the evidence in front of us. We weren't there, so we don't really know. But I won't debunk the fact that they could be controlling this stuff to change the gun laws, and we're over here trying to fight about, okay, let's decide on the age, but maybe that has nothing to do with it because we're basically fighting with ourselves.
I'll go back to what I said before, man. The kids of this generation, and I don't mean to sound like a bitter old man, like, oh, you back in my day. No, the truth of the matter is that the kids in this generation are fucking totally different. You know what I mean? They're medicated way more. Listen, back in the 50s,
and that's
60s,
a big thing.
Yeah, back
That's
in the
a big
50s, 60s, 70s, you started to act up, you got a fucking smack, and you didn't act up anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not saying beat your kid, but that shit puts you in line for the most part. You know what I mean? Now, it's straight up medication. Now, it's straight up social media. Everybody's telling you what to do, what you have to do, how you have to be. That shit's fucking with these kids' heads, man. It's the TV, it's the radio, it's all that shit, bro. The kids are just different. Not necessarily just like, oh, we're better than them, whatever. It's just that they're different, and I think our laws have to reflect that change, one way or another. I don't fully trust the government, but I also don't want to move to a fucking deserted island by myself either. You know what I mean? I like living in the United States. So I kind of got to fucking go with that balance. How I feel is that we have to regulate the guns one way or another. We do not have to take them away.
Right.
And I agree with your point. Testing has to be done, mental evaluations, background checks, and training. Listen, a lot of these states, you don't need any training. All you need is your ID.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
In certain places, you do need courses, but it's like an 8-hour, 4-hour course. In other places, you have to take fucking weeks of courses. You know what I mean? And weeks of evaluation. That might be the other side of the spectrum and the other extreme, but I think we do need something somewhere in the middle.
I want to know, first off, this is the whole thing. And like I said, who is doing the testing for these psychiatric tests? And like, is there an objective way of testing these people? Like, what are the questions that are being asked? What if you ask somebody, like, what do you believe? Like, you have a liberal that's doing that has liberal core beliefs, doing a psychiatric test on a conservative Christian.
Right.
And now they're saying, this guy's crazy because he's anti-gay marriage, I won't give him a gun. This is what I'm trying to say. It's a slippery slope. We don't know who's who.
Right.
Now, as far as my opinion on why these things are happening, okay, first off, I'm always going to speak from my faith perspective. They took God out of the classroom. You're not allowed to believe in God in the schools anymore. You're not allowed to pray anymore. They're teaching godless Darwinian evolution, okay? Which pretty much says that we're nothing but walking globs of matter with no other purpose, just to live this life. There's no divine purpose for us. We're just here by some freak accident. We don't have a soul. We don't have a spirit. There is no God. This is just one big accident. There's no value to you. You understand?
Right.
You're just a walking glob of matter that evolved from primordial soup. You understand? So you took God out of the classroom, okay? So, even if you go back to the Columbine kids, they were devout atheist Darwinians that believed in evolution. You know what I mean? They didn't believe that they were created by God. Now you got that. Then you got big pharmacy. All these kids are loaded to the gills with all kinds of psychiatric medications. You know what I'm trying to say? Big pharmacy business. The breakup of the family homes, every divorce rates at 80%. 80%. So some of these kids don't have father figures. Now you got music and movies that are influencing. And listen, I grew up on hip-hop music, but a lot of hip-hop music is, especially now, if you don't have a father and you don't really have value for life, you're listening to these rappers that are talking about letting off clips and shooting, And I know for a fact that it's influential because I see people all the time. Yeah, that song gets me hyped up, makes me want to break a jaw, this and that. So I'm not saying that's a major factor. I'm saying it's a possible factor. That's a possible factor. The movies, the music, the video games, the social networking, the big pharmacy, evolution, godlessness, atheism. It all is leading to this where kids feel helpless. You know what I mean?
Right.
Although they don't have no value or appreciation for life, so they're going in there, and and then they see what these guys do. These guys become martyrs. You know what I mean? Like the Columbine kids were martyrs to these kids. You know what I'm trying to say? So now they want to make a name for themselves.
Right.
Because they got nothing else. So it's a combination of a lot of different things, in my opinion. And it's just like you said. Over the last 20 years, it's been a hype. Now, what you said, I'm starting to wonder: is this orchestrated stuff?
Right.
All these MK Ultra victims that why is this happening all of a sudden? And I think some of the points we all brought up, can contribute to the fact. But I'm also starting to wonder: is there a hidden hand behind it? Which I believe there is a hidden hand.
I believe so too.
There is a hidden hand
If you
behind
go
it.
back to the test and the experiments that the CIA was doing back decades ago, I'm telling you, they've been doing this shit. You're not even in the 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, whatever it is. I'm sure that these guys are very patient, and there's definitely a big agenda, and this is just a small little fraction of what they're trying to achieve. This is not even, we won't even be able to understand what they're trying to achieve. That's the thing, is that they're clearly, they have the upper hand.
Well, my whole thing is, and another thing, and I don't mean to cut you off. Notice after these shootings, before the blood even dries, these things get politicized right away. They get politicized right away. Guns, we gotta take away the guns. Which goes to show you that there is an agenda behind it.
Right.
When you're politicizing an event before even giving, grieving or giving your condolences, you're politicizing an event before the blood even dries, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And as much
And
I
they're parading these kids and the parents.
To walk out of school day, these kids don't even know what they're doing. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just too much. Listen, America is in complete dysfunction. It's not the United States of America. Yeah, by name, but it's the divided states of America. And we've talked about this on countless podcasts. It's so radicalized right now between left and right. It's never going to be the same again. You're never going to see United States of America again.
So now that you say that, I wanna transition into, I guess, talking about science, right?
Okay.
And talking about what's his name?
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, Stephen Hawking. Sorry that he died, and what he believed in, and what he believed in, and how supposedly before he died, he was basically he was preaching and condoning a multi-planetary species, and he thinks that if we don't get the hell out of Earth now, and we don't try to reach above and beyond to leave Earth, technology is gonna basically wipe us out. Weapons, technology, all that stuff. So I think that what you were talking about, I think transitions into, I guess, talking about this dude, so we can move on and discuss what he believed in.
Here's what I think about Stephen Hawking. His books were interesting to me. I read Brief History of Time back when I was 16. It blew my mind. Then again, back when I was 16, I was reading Behold the Pale Horse and David Icke and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? I think we've come to some sort of agreement where Earth is not the only realm. And if there is a God like in the way Bloodstain believes there is, that he's the God of everything, including outer space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Including if there is other life forms besides humans, he's the God of them too.
Right.
Because he's all-knowing, all-powerful, must have created them, right? As far as space travel, yeah, sure, we got to get out of here. But what Stephen Hawking was a very smart man who had a lot of ideas. That's really it. A lot of the things he spoke about were ideas, and a lot of things that were proven or facts were shown by other people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He just basically was a mouthpiece for these people.
Right.
And I think it was because of the fact that he was a very smart man. He went to I believe Cambridge. His family was geniuses. He was a smart man. I think once his body started deteriorating, they started saying, we can use this guy because people will listen to him because he's smart, but also because he's dying. He's gonna die in a minute. You know what I mean? They kind of used him a little bit. I think he was more of a mouthpiece. Interesting man. Wherever he is now, I I believe he just turned his energy. So I can't say rest in peace or anything like that. But that's really what I think about Stephen Hawking.
My views on Stephen Hawking. First off, I agree with what you said. I don't. He's a guy that thought outside the box.
Yeah.
He was just a man with ideas.
Right.
Nobody's ever been into a black hole. You know what I mean?
Right.
He passed his philosophical presuppositions as fact. There is no God. But how do you know that?
Right.
So now you're passing your presupposed philosophical view as fact. So right off the bat, for me, he's dangerous. He's a dangerous guy. I think that he's led many people astray with his views. I don't think he's as brilliant as people make him out to be. He's the most brilliant man of all time. I don't believe that. I believe that he added a sci-fi twist
Yeah, I agree.
to his things to make him stand out a little bit more. I think people were very appealed by him not dying when he was supposed to die, because you only supposed to live like 2 or 3
2
years.
years, yeah.
Which to me, I'm not going to go full conspiracy theory mode on that, but to me, there's something very fishy about that too. And I'm not going to get into if that vessel was even inhabited by Stephen Hawking's soul, because if you look at it, that guy was supposed to die.
Right.
It's you know what I'm trying to say?
By the end of his life, the only thing that worked was a muscle that he twitched in his cheek. Nothing else worked. So
That's crazy.
do we really know
That's
if
crazy.
he was in there or not?
What?
Do we know if he was even controlling
That's
that computer?
I don't want to go. Listen,
It might have been Trump.
This is a fallible opinion of mine, and I just think outside the box. I wonder if this guy was possessed by some sort of something.
Right,
He
You
right.
know what I'm
Could
trying to say? He was supposed to die, and I think what people were drawn to was the fact that he added the sci-fi twist to his stuff.
Yeah, he definitely.
The fact that he was in a wheelchair with a thing that was it was like something out of a movie. You know, he's talking through some, what was that? The audio.
No. He what he did was he would type into the computer, and the computer would
Speak
to
out.
him. At first, he would do it with just moving his eyes, and like I said, towards the end of his life, he would do it just by moving a muscle in his cheek, and he would type. But like I said, do we know if he was really doing that, or was somebody else putting that in? We don't know. I guess.
Like I said, he was a guy that was a very fallible guy. He acted like he spoke with such assertion, such authority, and people don't have minds of their own, so they already say this. They take his views as fact and his beliefs as fact.
Right.
At the end of the day, my opinion is this: yes, this guy might have had some sort of knowledge on the universe, but he had no relationship with the creator of the universe, and to me, that means you're not too smart. Second of all, first of all, and then he likes to use the word the grand design for the universe. If everything happened by accident, then how is it a design? A design needs a designer.
Right,
So
right.
right away you're shooting yourself in the foot with that, your description of the universe, the grand design. So to me, it's like he knows that there's a creator, but yet he's denying the creator. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't call something grand. There's not a design without a designer.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? And for me, it's just common sense. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't care if you're a fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson or you're a Richard Dawkins or I don't care. Common sense. Bro, the way our bodies are structured and made, the reproductive system, the digestive system, the way we could grab things, our hands, the way we could see, that's intelligent design right there. How can nothing create everything? And he couldn't explain that. He was like, oh, an atom sparked and created Big
Right.
Bang. We talked about this already. I don't want to keep harping on the same garbage all the time, but where did the atom come from then?
Right.
Nothing can't create
Right.
everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what
There
I'm
had to
saying?
be a start
Like
somewhere.
this cup it came out of the blue. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
It just can't. Somebody made it. You know what I'm trying? It makes no sense. So these people may appear as smart to other people, but to me they're liars and deceivers.
But honestly, I mean, this is just opinion. But honestly, people like that, these scientists and these experts and people who are quote unquote atheists, I really believe deep down inside they believe in God. You know what I mean? They
Of course
believe
they
in
do.
somebody and they fear God. They're God fearing men.
At the end of the day, they can't, like you said, they can't explain how an atom just burst and
Right.
created everything. They can't because and like you said, they can't really explain a black hole because no one's ever been in a black hole. These are theories that they tested through science, but they tested that here on Earth. Doesn't mean that that's what it is over there. You know what I mean? I do think that Stephen Hawking was a smart man. I think he had smart ideas. I don't make him out to be this, great genius that everyone else. Like I said, I thought that he just came up with ideas and other people kind of did the legwork. At the end of the day, what did he really prove? Nothing. He proved that some of his theories worked here on Earth.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean,
it.
I just
You know
think,
what I mean?
like
'Cause
you
he
said,
never went into outer
yeah,
space.
like you guys said, I just think he was an intelligent man. He was just very curious, and it was unfortunate that he had, what was it, Lou Gehrig's disease or whatever,
MS.
and
Multiple sclerosis.
and basically, I mean, it was unfortunate for him to be in that position, but he took that and he ran with that image, and just like a lot of people in life, he just took whatever the cards that he was dealt, and that's it. But I mean, I just think he was a curious man, just like everybody else. Albert Einstein.
At the end of the day, people were on Twitter praising this guy like he was some sort of a god. At the end of the day, he was 76 years old, bound to a wheelchair, and died. Where did that knowledge get him? This is why I say you have to have faith in God, because that's the only, from my worldview, you have to have faith in God. Because all the knowledge in the world, and it's not going to stop you from death. Somebody said to me on Twitter, you stay in your religious box. We'll keep exploring the universe and doing these things. Okay, fine, you're still going to die, jerk off. You're going to die. Eventually you're going to die. All this stuff that you may know about stars and the black hole, you're going to die. What is it going to do for you? So for me, it's like, all right, fine, he was a smart guy, but he wasn't smart enough to come to realize that there is a God. And he died bound to a wheelchair with his philosophical presuppositions, and that's it. He's done. You know what I mean? He's gone. I don't want to talk with malice against the guy, but I feel like he led many people astray from my worldview. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always coming from my worldview, my Christian worldview on things. He led many people astray with his ideas that he passed on as fact. And the same goes for Neil deGrasse Tyson. The same goes for Richard Dawkins. The same goes for Bill Nye. These guys are false prophets leading people away from God with their Darwinian, atheistic garbage. So
Right.
that's my point of view on that.
And this is the thing, is that I don't want to get into a whole discussion about like knowledge, right, and what's in books. But at the end of the day, like, you have to think about, it had to have started somewhere. I think we've talked about this in previous episodes. Like, you know what I'm talking about? These people who are basically geniuses in the eyes of society got their knowledge and are preaching what they learned from textbooks. Without those books, they have nothing. And my thing is, if you think logically, those books were created by people. So it makes you wonder what is real, and there has to be a God.
I'm gonna call Tragedy Gaddafi right now and ask him his opinion. What do you think?
Make sure he's drunk on Hennessy first. See, my whole issue is this: if people are gonna say, "Oh, the Bible was written by men," you're gonna say that. So are your textbooks.
Right.
Even though if you read the Bible, it says the Bible was written by men, moved by the Holy Spirit. Your textbooks were written by men too. Why is the Bible fallible, but not those textbooks?
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
And the textbooks are what they teach the kids in society.
You have blind faith in science, what scientists tell you. You put
Right.
blind faith in it. There's no observational evidence of macroevolution, one species turning into another. There's none. Nobody's ever seen one thing turn into another. Nobody has. In the history of time, nobody's seen it. So to me, we got to be very careful with that.
Another great person who passed the day before Stephen Hawking was Craig Mack.
Oh,
Mack,
yeah.
Flavor in the Air, yes. Well, okay. Craig Mack.
Craig Mack after Flavor in Your Ear, he had a string of hits and then kind of disappeared.
I'm just gonna say, listen. I'm not the biggest big Craig Mack fan. I will say this though. Flavor in the Air was such an iconic '90s single. It was my favorite song
And
for
the
a
remix.
while. And the remix.
Huge.
The remix was bigger than the original.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm gonna just go by the original single because when that first came out, it was huge
Yeah,
too.
it was huge.
The remix was huge, but so was the original. And
I think possibly at that time, Craig Mack, he came out the same time as Biggie Smalls. He was bigger than Biggie Smalls, man.
at one point, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
The thing is, I wasn't, I was
heard
a
that
kid,
Craig
so
Mack stepped away from the industry and he became a Christian. That's what I heard. And then he came back. I don't know. So
No, he didn't come back. So some people are saying that he joined a Christian cult. I didn't do research on the certain church that he had joined, but yeah, he left for a while. He didn't like the industry. He came back in like 2000. What was it, 2003 or 4?
Yes.
With that, remember Diddy was doing that string of remixes and shit.
Yeah, he did.
Special delivery.
Oh, he
Right,
was on
right.
that?
Yeah, Craig Mack was
Oh,
on
shit.
that. And he came back for that. It looked like he was gonna do a comeback, and then he stepped away again. He joined the church. He became very religious, and he started hating what he had previously done in the record business.
When I read that he came back, he did an album. I seen that Eric Sermon did an album.
That was old stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that was old stuff. He hated the music industry. He hated the music industry. He loved his friends, Eric Sermon and them. He didn't hate them, but supposedly he hated the music industry and he hated anyone who was trying to bring him back into the music industry, claiming that they're demons trying to manipulate him.
Okay.
So yeah, he passed away.
I said, may God have mercy on your soul to Craig Mack. You know what I mean? Definitely a pivotal. That was a pivotal song in my childhood.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely a junior high school. I was in junior high when that came out. I think it was in 8th grade. It might have been in 8th grade when that song came out.
I think.
One of my favorite beats of all time. I thought he had an original style too, Craig Mack. I liked him. It's a shame that he never really.
He had a little bit of a Busta Rhymes style, right?
Yeah. So that was sad. You know what I mean?
Bro, but 46 years old. That shit is sad.
Of course.
That shit is sad.
Yeah,
that shit is crazy.
I mean,
it's fucking crazy.
Exactly.
I tell you right now, I've been taking steps with my health. I've been trying to stay. Besides what I just ate just now, I've been eating a little better. But I've been staying away from salt and sugar. I really want to cut them out. In April, I'm actually going on a red meat fast. Cause I just want to see how I will feel after the month of no.
Bro, I definitely recommend it. I haven't eaten red meat in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So I went off the red meat and then I did no chicken for like 3 months and then I went back on the chicken just because I felt like I was lacking the protein. But not doing the red meat makes a difference, at least for me. And I feel like everybody's body's different, but I can tell you that it's gonna change your life.
I think that I'm gonna stay away from the red meat. I'm gonna go on a red meat fast. See how I feel after it. You know what I mean? That's not taking, health serious.
Yeah, as we get older.
You know what I mean? Somebody asked if Rock Marciano still coming on. I just talked to Rock. Rock agreed to come on the show. We're gonna set up a date for that. It might be the next episode. You know what I mean? Rock is busy right now, but
that album. I personally liked Rosebud's Revenge, the original, a little bit more than this one, but yeah, I'm a big Rock Marciano fan, man, and he killed it on this one as well, man. It's a great album. It's a great continuation of the first one.
I know this is gonna sound crazy what I'm about to say, but this might be my favorite Rock album.
Really?
It might be my favorite Rock Marciano album. I don't know. I love the production. I love the sampling. I love the. For me, like I said, I don't listen to much hip hop no more. Somebody just said Bloodstained is a liar and a fraud. Dude, you're a little life sack of shit.
Who was
Please,
that?
who are you? You're a mutt.
Can we open up
Get
the
your
phone
life.
lines, please?
Listen, me and my dad played catch when I was young. You and your fucking dad played with Barbies. All right, that's the difference between me and you mutt. All right. Let me know where you're at so I can give you the beating your father never gave you. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, Rock. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Rock, this album put Rock as my all-time favorite MC.
Really?
Yes. When this album came out, I was so blown away by it that Rock was always my favorite MC of this decade.
Mm-hmm.
He was always my number one MC of this decade. And then he always was between 6 and 10 on my all-time list. Okay. My top 5 lists always stem. Sometimes I like to troll with my list. I don't like to give my full list. But my top 5 usually had Doom, MF Doom, Nas. Nas. I'm kind of getting sick of Nas for some reason. Doom, Nas. Then you had Ghostface, Prodigy, Sean Price, Cameron. I always interweave. But Rock was always on the 6 and 10 list. But with this album, I looked at his overall body of work, and it's just mind blowing. You know what I mean? Mossberg, Reloaded, The Rosebud of Revenge.
Reloaded is my favorite Rock Marciano.
It's a classic.
Classic.
It's a classic. what's on Marksburg BQ? What was that called? That album that he had.
Which one?
Um,
Oh, the Pimp Pipe Strikes
Pimp
Back?
Pipe Strikes Back.
The one you were on?
Yes, I was on that album. I was on that album.
And the one right after, right? Or right before it?
Yeah, what was it? What was it called, man? My memory's so bad. That was a very good album. Just his body, he's never put out anything bad. It's always been either classic or very good.
Yeah,
He got too many quotables.
Yeah,
That's the one thing about this dude is.
And for
That's the
me,
thing. And I don't give a fuck if you care about drums. There's no drums.
Right.
Oh, there's no beat. He's not. The things that he's saying in the story.
It just
that
makes
he's
you shake your head.
weaving exactly, man. That's what an MC does. That's what an MC is. He should be able to rap over somebody tapping on a tin can. And Rock Marcy
BQ. How do you say that? Marcy
Boku, you fucking ape.
Marcy BQ. What a jerk job.
He calls hors d'oeuvres horse divers.
I tell you,
You know that?
For a man that I consider myself to be an intellectual, I feel like a real jerk off right now. So anyway, Rock to me is my favorite MC because Rock, besides the quotables, he has the style that I relate to personality-wise. That's like, you know what I mean? That stoic, smooth, nonchalant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love the way he spits. You know what I mean? And I just think that to me, this album put him at my #1 spot. It put him at the #1 spot of all time for me, just above Doom.
Who's number 2? Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Well, listen, that's the king of New York. You have respect for him. You have respect for 6ix9ine. All right, he's running New York right now.
Is he really running New York though?
What do you?
Who else is the?
I mean, he's saying that he's running New York. Nobody's doing anything about it. So
The thing is, who's making more money? A Boogie with the Hood, he's definitely making more money than Tekashi.
well, the thing
I think he's more talented.
A Boogie's is a smart. I could tell he's a smart businessman.
Is Dave East making more money than Tekashi?
Oh, I don't
think
know.
he is.
I don't know.
He's definitely more talented. I see Tekashi 6ix9ine the way I saw DMX when he came out. DMX was never the wordsmith. You know, yeah, he could say, he could, quote a hymn and it sounded dope. And he definitely did say shit, get at me dog and all that. Yo, those are definitely dope records. But he was never a wordsmith. It was really more his attitude, the way he said things, and his personality that made him what he was. And I see Tekashi 6ix9ine in that same way. I enjoy some of his songs, man. They're rowdy. They're MOP, Annie Up. The DMX songs, man. They get you riled up and hyped. And I respect those, and I like them in that way. And as far as King of New York, if we're talking about money, it's possible. I don't think he's. A lot of people saying he's bringing hip hop back. No fucking way.
I mean, first of all, how do you define King of New York, though? You know what I mean?
Right. It depends how we're defining it.
More money, more power,
right now,
more
in
respect.
terms of the hit songs on the Billboard, he has the most. He has 5 songs on the Billboard. No other New York artist has that. You know what I'm trying to say?
He has 5 songs.
He has 5.
Pull up the Billboard and show me.
5 songs.
Show me the 5 songs he has on the Billboard.
He has 5
I doubt
songs
that
on the
highly.
Billboard.
I don't even know 5 songs that he has. Maybe 2 or 3. 5 songs on the Billboard. What? 100 or top 40?
Tony, pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm pulling up
On
the top
top
100.
what? Top 1,000 or what? What are we talking
Well,
about?
this is the next topic, just so we don't forget. Number 1 is God's plan. So I know you want
That's
to
number
talk.
one on
Yeah,
the
I know.
We're gonna get into God's plan. We're gonna
But
get into God's plan.
let's see. Hold on. 7.
But go get that Rock Marciano album.
Yeah.
Rosebud Revenge Part 2, The Bitter Dose. My favorite MC of all
I
time.
can't wait till Rock comes on. I want to ask him about that album with Muggs. He was working on the album with Muggs. I don't know if you knew that.
Muggs, and he's doing an album with Kai.
Oh yeah, Metal
Metal
Clergy.
So
That's gonna be dope. Kai's also.
So
Screamworks.
Gummo is 28 now, but it was 16 last week. So it's
you
dropping.
On the top what? Top 40?
There's 100.
All right, on the top 100. All right.
That's 1, but
That's
it's
1.
28.
Well, you got last week's list though, because this was last week. I heard this.
Okay.
Go ahead. Whatever. Just 5. I don't know. Hold on. Did I see Spic Flair on there? Spic Flair was number 24.
Big Flash on the Billboard.
Yo, listen.
17,000.
You want to hear how fucking sad I am? That I made a video. I bought this toy Infinity Gauntlet. I made a video on Instagram, right? Putting up the middle finger. It got more views than Spic Flair. Fuck you, fans.
Oh my gosh.
Yo. So 53, Billy.
All right.
So that's number 2. So I think
We're
I
getting
think
close to the
we're
100
getting
now.
close.
You can say there's 3 more in there?
Kiki's
No,
number 90. Kiki has 3. And last week he had 5.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
3 is the
fine.
most. I've never heard
3 is
keeping.
still a lot though, man.
It's a lot, I guess.
Regardless, listen, it is what it is. I just like trolling saying he's the king of New York. I think it's funny.
I'll go on a limb and say Cardi B
so-
is the king of New York before Tekashi 6ix9ine. She number 1 makes definitely more money than Tekashi. Number 2 probably has more hits on the Billboard than he does too. How about that?
Well, she's 29 now, so.
And I think she's more skilled, even though I'm not a fan. Not a fan, but lyrically, I think she's more skilled than Tekashi. How about that?
Tone, before we go into the rest of the Billboard numbers, what's the phone number?
The call-in?
The
Hold on,
call-in.
give me 1 second.
Oh.
Let's
We
see.
get some callers in.
Yeah, we need to get some calls in about that. All right, so God's Plan is number 1.
It's number 1 on Billboard right now, yeah.
Right now, I'm sick and tired of the song because they play it too much, just like they do all his shit. But when he put that out with another single. Do you remember that? It was like
Oh,
an
Look
EP.
Alive?
Yeah, it was like an EP. It was 2 songs. I like Look Alive better. Than
Yeah,
God's Plan.
bro, he bodied that, but that's number 7. That's number 7 too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a dope song, man. To me, I think Drake is filled with a lot of estrogen, but he's a very skilled MC. To me, I think he's very skilled
Everything
MC.
he everything
Rap
he
circles
touches,
around a lot of people,
everything
man.
he touches turns
I
to
thought the
gold.
video was caca though. I thought the video was trash. The video was trash, dude. Son, you fucking what do you do? He put out like a call list, and then he had to do background checks on the people he gave money. These weren't random people he gave money to. Did you know that? And on top of that, it screams, "Look at me!"
Well, they weren't random.
No, they weren't.
They weren't random.
It screams, "Hey, look at me! Look at me! Look, I'm doing something good." With number 1, a tax write-off. Number 2, not my money.
Right.
The label's money.
Right.
Hey, everyone! Look how good I am. And that's why I didn't like it, man.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
It's great. Give to charity, bro. Don't not give to charity. But look, if we find out that you did, that's great. Do you have to be out there and make a whole video about it? Plus, it was a trashy video. Why don't you just give money away and invite those people to come to a real video shoot?
Well,
I thought the video
like I
was
said,
garbage.
for me, I think and Drake's not the only one who's doing that. It's going on a lot on social networking where people are videotaping themselves, giving money or giving food,
Oh, yeah.
and it's for clout.
Right.
It's clout chasing. They're
Yeah.
doing it for clout. They want likes. They want comments. They want people to tell them, "Oh, you're such a good person."
Right.
It's complete vain. It's disgusting, in my opinion. I don't like it. Somebody said to me, "But at least she's doing something good." But he's not doing something good just for.
Of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's videotaping it for clout, and this is the issue I have.
For views.
You know, and like I said, from my faith standpoint, Christ spoke against that. He spoke in Matthew 6:1-5. He said, you know, don't do things for the world to see because you're not getting your reward from God. You're getting your reward from men, praise from men. Now you'll be your reward, but you're not going to get your reward from God. So he said hypocrites do that. So I agree with that standpoint. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of the video. Like everybody's oohing and on. Oh, Drake is so nice. He's giving random money away. This and that. I would have liked it better if he did it in silence when nobody's seen it. Well, you know, he like you said, he's not doing that to kindness out of his own heart. Maybe he is, but he's also receiving clout and praise from men and praise from people. So to me, that's kind of corny. He's not the only one doing it. If you on Instagram,
No.
I see it all the time.
Let's
That Fat Boy SSE does it.
Right, they go to these people to give sandwiches and food.
Yeah. I
And,
mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It's a nice thing, but
Yeah.
don't record yourself.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
What you want is you want clout. Are you doing it for because
Right.
kind of you want clout, and you want praise from men.
Honestly, this is the thing, right? Everybody in life and in this world, they just want to feel recognized. That's the number one thing behind everybody's purpose and intention. They just want to get recognized. So with that being said, everybody wants to be the kid in the class raising his hand saying, "I know the answer." Everybody wants to be videotaped giving out $1,000 to a homeless person. That's just the reality. The thing is that now that they feel good that they're in a position because they have money and they could do it, they just want people to know, look, listen, I'm doing good things. So I don't think that everybody has bad intentions, including Drake, but I just think that they shouldn't be doing it to that extent.
I'm gonna go and I gotta roast. I gotta roast.
You wanted to
right
roast
now.
somebody. Let's get. But actually, before you go into the roast,
I'm hyped up.
before you go into the roast, hulk up a little bit more. Hulk up.
I'm
What's
gonna
that
do-
phone
I'm
number?
gonna do
Oh,
20 push-ups real quick.
Take the
I'm
same
gonna do
steroids that
Do some
Canelo
push-ups.
took.
I'm gonna do-
Do something. Hulk up.
I'm gonna go fucking snuff Tony real quick.
Hulk up. What's the phone number, Tony?
347.
Hold on.
Fucking hype.
You're ready to cut a promo right now, F.
With these fucking sneakers I'm wearing, you don't have these fucking kicks. You couldn't get these kicks. You have to pay $500 for these fucking sneakers. I don't pay over retail for these.
What sneakers are
These
those?
sneakers
Mention
are
it so.
given to me.
What are they?
What are they? Because you're probably one of the
These are
first.
the last Supreme drop, the Air Force One Supremes and NBAs with all the NBA teams on them. You don't have these. Nobody has these. Like 100 people have these, and definitely nobody you know.
I heard Supreme's doing a chocolate line. First one to buy.
Bro, I will be online. That I'll stand online
Isn't it
for.
crazy? All you have to do is put a Supreme thing on it. It's
Oh
like,
yes.
it's done.
That's this brand equity.
The
That's
brand
what it's called.
equity. It's
It's
great.
up there.
Branding is everything.
They could literally put it on shit and
You can
people
put
will
it
buy
on-
it.
People will buy it.
No,
They would buy it.
they put it on a clay brick and it's sold out in a
Yeah.
minute.
All right. So what's the number?
All right, so it's 347-770-0871.
770-08.
71.
Okay. So F, cut the promo. 347-770-0871.
Yep.
All right, I got a roast. Speaking about doing things for, hey, look at me, doing things for attention. I got to talk about possibly the biggest dweeb in hip hop. Definitely ranks right up there, pound for pound, with Dick. What are you doing? Ranks right up there, pound for pound, biggest dweeb with G-Eazy.
Red tube.
His name is Logic.
Okay.
This guy looks like a fucking twerp. And okay, that's fine to look like a twerp. I'm not a fan of his rapping, man. People just like that fast. Oh, I can rap fast. I can say a lot of words that rhyme. That's really all he's doing. I'm not a fan. That 1-800-273 song, which was supposed to be the suicide hotline, it was supposed to, bring attention to suicide. That was just a big old, hey, look at me. I mean, in the hook, he's like, huh, who can relate? Like, raise your hands if you want to commit suicide. That shit was so fucking corny. But pick up the phone so you can hear me fucking shit on Logic. That shit was so fucking corny, bro. That actually got him a $30 million Def Jam deal. I want to give this kid a wedgie so fucking bad. And he talks so much shit, too. He talks shit like he can fuck people up. Dude, this kid has got to be the biggest weenie in hip-hop. And I know you're a fan, Tony, because you were telling me before, and this is not a joke. I know you're a fan of his, but dog, I cannot respect him. See, like, he's not that good, bro.
The reality is I'm not a fan of him like that, but I did pick up on him 7 years ago. So then I thought he was dope. Now I haven't even heard his last few projects.
That's it, I'm done.
All right, so who's on the line?
Wow, that was hard.
Yo,
Silk Church, Fast Hands, who's this?
this is Steve from Jersey.
What's up, bro?
What's going on? So, what's your guys' list of rappers that you'd like to slap around?
Number one, Logic. That's definitely that. He ranks right up there. I think he's the biggest. That's what I was just talking about. He's definitely the biggest
What about
dweeb in
Talib
hip-hop.
Kweli?
Oh, Talib Kweli's on my top 5 list.
Yeah.
I would love to slap the living shit out of Talib. He's such a he's a snowflake.
Yeah, he's a
He's
liberal.
a liberal snowflake. He lies. He's emotional. On Twitter, he's just an absolute clown. I would love to shoot the fade with him. I would love to shoot the fade with Talib Kweli. He's on my top 5 for sure. And it's crazy because I actually like that Black Star album when it first came out with Mos Def.
Yeah,
Now I just want to give the guy eternal wedgies. I even want to give him wedgies in the next life. I just don't like the guy. I think he's a snowflake. I think he's a cuck. I think he's a soy boy. And yeah, he's on my top 5. Who's on your list? Who do you want to give a slap or a wedgie to?
Shit. There's so many. I'd probably say Tekashi.
Oh
6ix9ine.
shit!
Oh, Tekashi.
Hey, listen to me. You have respect for the king in New York. You have respect for the king in New York.
You got
right?
Bloodstain's Ghost. He's a big
All right.
Tekashi fan.
I don't know. That guy's got ties to Sandusky, I heard.
Is that true? Is that true that he molested a kid? Is that a true story?
Pizzagate?
No, it is. No. Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's going to jail because.
He's not going to jail. He already beat it.
No, he definitely didn't
Whoa,
beat it.
he beat it. Whoa,
He definitely
careful
didn't beat it. What happened was he was at a party. He was, I believe, 18 at the time. A 13-year-old girl was invited to the party. He took pictures with her on his lap with her shirt off. She claims that he touched her, was groping her. He was saying, nah, she just jumped in my lap when they took a picture. So yeah, that part is true. Whether he had sex with a 13-year-old, that hasn't been proven. But yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't know if I want to slap him around. Definitely Logic. Definitely G-Eazy. He's a fucking.
Oh,
piece of
G-Eazy.
garbage.
G-Eazy I want to put in the headlock and give him a noogie.
Yeah, definitely.
Just clown him. He's on my top 5. Quali, G-Eazy. I don't know enough about this kid Logic, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on it after the show. But I don't even think I heard his song. You said I did. Maybe I did, but I didn't hear it.
He looks like Poindexter from fucking Revenge of the Nerds. And he's rapping like he's some kind of fucking badass kid.
And he just got a $30 million
$30 million Def Jam deal. Fuck his
I don't
mom.
even know how they pay him that much, honestly. I mean, because when you think about it, when somebody gives you a deal,
Does Def Jam have $30 million?
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
When somebody gives you a deal, they gotta make money on it. And this is
What
not
about Action Bronson? I feel like that guy changed a lot.
Oh, yeah, what happened to Action? I don't really hear about
like
Listen,
cross dressers
Action-
and all these fucking
Action
soy
doesn't-
boys.
Say that again about Action. Say that again.
No, I just feel like he's on Vice, like the most liberal channel ever. Viceland, he's got shows on. He's always hanging out with, like, you look into the people watching the show, they're like little soy boys and, you know, those leftist types. I don't know what happened.
I don't know about all that. I know I'm still a fan of Action Bronson. I think he stopped trying. Definitely his last album does not sound like Dr. Lecter or Blue Chips. I think he just stopped trying, but then again, he's making so much money with the cooking show and he's making so much money touring that, you know, he doesn't really have to try. I wish he would. As far as lyrics, as far as being on Viceland, to me it doesn't really mean anything. You know, I'm not like you know, I'm in the middle between left and right, so I don't care if he's on Viceland or not.
F is more of a moderate. I'm gonna say this about Action. Okay, as many people know, I was personal friends with Action. Been to his house countless times. Watched countless UFCs. Went to shows. Rocked the stage with him. Broke bread with him. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Action. I've lost touch with him, you know, over the years. I mean, listen, Vice is a leftist media outlet. It's ran by hipsters and vegans and soy boys. It's the truth. Do I think Action cares about that? Action's about the paper.
Right.
Action's about the money.
He's making his money.
And I spoke to Action before about this. That Action's about getting the money. So I don't think Action don't even like talking about politics. He don't like any of that stuff. So I'm not going to say Action's guilty by association because I haven't spoke to Action for all these years. But I do know Action's about the money and Action's just about providing for his family. And I'm not going to say anything bad about him. Has he changed? I haven't been keeping up with Action lately. I'll be honest with you. You would know more than I know. I'm just going by what I know from Action, from my friendship with him that I had. But yeah, I mean that's my view on Action. Action he just wants to make money. You know what I mean? As far as my conversations I've had with him.
All right, Steve from Jersey, thanks for calling in, bro.
One last one, I
Appreciate
think
it.
maybe
Well, last question. What do you got?
Clown it.
What was it?
Hello.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah. What's your last question, Dick?
I think the last one I would want to smack around is probably Nas.
Really?
Kind of like
Why?
Yeah.
he seems like a dude you don't want to trust. He thinks his shit don't stink, and I think he's over. He has one classic album. That's it.
No, come on.
He got 2 classic albums.
He's got at least 2 classic albums. Stillmatic was good. Yeah, that's probably it. Well, I don't know if I want to smack him.
I'll be honest with you. Nas has been annoying. I don't know. For some reason, I'm seeing what he's seeing right now.
Yeah.
Nas has been annoying me lately. I don't know why. I've been getting very annoyed by him. I just don't. This guy's weird to me. One day he's a Muslim. One day he's a 5%er. One day he's a black Hebrew Israelite. One day he's a Christian. One day, to me, he's all over the place with his beliefs. He's Nicki Minaj. I don't know. It's just Nas. I'm not feeling him anymore.
What's crazy to me is you guys are shitting on Nas, and I just thought of one guy I would love to slap the shit out of, Kanye West, bro. Like, what happened to Kanye West? Man? Like, yeah, he comes up with these crazy ideas, but he's the biggest douchebag in the world, and I think face to face, he folds. I think face to face, he folds, starts crying like a little girl.
Bro, I was reading in the comments, Immortal Technique and Bloodstain had some problems. Someone was posting, but Immortal
that was a
Technique
few
kind of
months
where
ago.
you can
Listen,
talk about raping
how
women.
about
and
this?
now
And
he's
I hope this video
also-
comes out. Immortal Technique is a fucking pussy. Okay, he talked all gangster to me. I told him to meet me. I gave him the exact location. I waited there from 6 to 7 o'clock. He never showed up. He talked all tough, talked all reckless. He must think I'm some one of these jerk job soy boy, snowflake, commie fanboys. I'm not. I am a fucking alpha male through and through. Machismo radiates from my pores 24/7, 365. Okay, Immortal Technique. He will get the biggest wedgie of his life, and I will humiliate him. Okay, so if he wants that smoke, I got it for him.
Steve, thanks for calling in,
Steve,
brother.
thank you for calling, my brother. Next caller.
Yo, who's this, Dick?
Yeah, Charlie.
Who's this, Garlic?
Charlie.
Charlie, what's going
What's
on?
up, Charlie?
Not much, guys. You guys talk about the Rock Marcy album yet?
We talked about it. We'll talk about it again. What do you think? What are your comments on it?
I think it's tough as shit, man.
You don't like it?
I think it's really good.
Oh,
yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah, I think to me,
Bed Spring, what was it? The Bed Spring.
Bed Spring
I thought
King.
that was the dopest one. Then I was listening to it the second time this morning. Just kind of like paying a little bit more attention to the lyrics and stuff. That's fucking album.
We were saying.
And another thing was I paid the $30 for the download off the site
Good for you.
because when you think about it, that music's worth it in comparison to like whatever it is, $20 t-shirts, shit like that.
Well, all these motherfuckers who were mad about what Rock was charging, who are you really mad at? You gotta be mad at yourself because you don't have to buy this album. Who are you mad at?
Exactly.
Why are you mad at Rock for what he's charging? Don't pay for it. How dare he charge me $30? Then don't fucking pay for it, Dick.
Rock puts a lot of work into his craft. He's an artist. He produces and rhymes. You know, it's not like he does both. Rock is someone. He's like a doom type. He rhymes. He produces. The album to me is my favorite Rock album. Believe it or not, it was Reloaded, followed by Mossberg, but this took over the top spot. I just love the production on it. My favorite songs on there are Happy Endings, Muse, Power, Bed Spring King, and Kill You. Those are my favorite songs on the album. And I think, in my opinion, wow, he's really.
It's like Rick Moranis.
It's like Rick Moranis. Yeah, I think the album to me is the best rap album to come out in the past year. Best hip hop album. I think Rock is a genius. Most quotable rapper there is, in my opinion. The most quotable rapper there is. Flow is smooth, criminal, fly. You know what I mean? To me, he's the best in the game. You know what I mean? He's the best right now, the best MC, and he's starting to get the looks now that he should be getting. Like he was up with on Revolt TV.
Right.
He's starting to get the recognition that he deserves that he should have had a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Do you think he's gonna take the spot from Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Listen,
You better.
you have respect for the king in New York, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He runs New York, all right?
For Tony, he's still number 2 under Kodak Black. So
Yo, I think Kodak Black is still locked up.
good. Yo, thanks for calling in, Charlie.
Right.
All right,
Go on, brother.
Later. So, people aren't calling in, I think, because you're not on live. Go on live, fuck it.
But I think there's like 15 people watching right now. So there's people
my
watching.
My computer just died, so I'm done.
Why don't you, any of you fucks call in then? What's going on? 15 of you watching, call in. Say whatever you
Get
want.
more callers. I mean, let's talk about. Let's go on to another subject. I want to talk about Toys R Us closing.
Shit.
Toys R Us closing.
Yeah.
Right, because I think initially it started
You're a
that
businessman. You're a guy in the business world. Why did Toys R Us close?
just because of Amazon.
Okay.
That's it. It's Amazon.
Amazon
I don't think anybody.
Amazon
runs the world. I mean, think about it. They bought Whole Foods. They're gonna run that soon. That's why Walmart, from what I read recently, they're trying to start investing in home delivery because they know Amazon. They know Amazon's here to crush it. They're gonna be up there with Google, and they're gonna dominate the world. There's gonna be Amazon, fucking Alphabet, which is Google, and fucking Apple. The 3 A's. Those are the 3 companies. And Facebook, although they have a lot of power now because they're collecting a lot of data on us, and that's why sometimes it's weird that you might have a headache, and all of a sudden you start seeing fucking Advil ads. They got a lot of information on you, but I think that company is not going to be around for long.
No.
As big as they are, and I know that they own Instagram, I think Facebook is not going to be around that long. But going back to what you said with the Toys R Us, I just think Amazon came, they adapted. I mean, they built a huge company. They were very patient. It was very hard for them to become profitable in the beginning, and then they just kept growing the company through a lot of acquisitions, and they just ended up dominating the toy industry.
I think it's just crazy because back in the days, man, your parents take you to Toys R Us, it was fucking huge. Your parents took you to Toys R Us, you were in fucking heaven as a kid, man. No matter what you were getting,
Right.
walked out of there with He-Man, GI Joes, paintball kits, spy kits, Monopoly games. I think I got my first Sony PlayStation from there. No, I'm sorry, my first Super Nintendo from dude. Toys R Us was like a heaven for kids. It's sad to see it go, but it's also kind of like a dinosaur, though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I did my obituary on my Instagram today about Toys R Us. It was, as a kid, it was a larger than life thing. You know what I mean? I bought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Transformers, G.I. Joes, WWF, Hasbro, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Army Ants. I bought so much stuff in that place when I was a kid. I have so many memories about Toys R Us. My son, I used to bring to Toys R Us all the time. So it's sad that all these things are closing. It's the death of many of our childhoods. It started with, the mom and pop video stores and Blockbusters and all these video stores. So, it's like Tony said, Amazon runs the world right now.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm guilty of it. Because I'm a consumer from Amazon.
Of course. Well, look, when they
No.
can offer you things for almost half price than what the big chain stores are offering.
Right.
It's a no-brainer.
For the same-
They
for the
deliver
same
right
toys.
to your house.
Right.
If you don't have their service where you get it the next day for free, it only takes like 2 or 3 days. Dog,
Right.
they're killing the game.
Yeah, and this is the thing is that, like, here's an idea for you, right? So I'm sure that you guys probably heard
Oh, you
about.
got an idea for me?
I'm sure you guys heard about those drones that they started using for the delivery.
Yeah.
So the thing is that Toys R Us didn't
By
adapt
the
quick
way,
enough.
I heard Walmart's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah,
just
probably.
read that.
They probably are. So Toys R Us, I feel like they didn't adapt quick enough as far as the online stuff goes. But then, we're all sad about that. It is kind of sad because I do remember going with my grandfather too and my parents getting toys and stuff, and that was all good, right? Getting excited, getting the toy that you wanted for so long. But I think that Amazon, right, the future could be something like Amazon using these drones to literally fucking drop a toy in front of your house or inside your fucking family's living room, show you the toy, and then be able to take it back just so you could try it. That's how crazy it is. So they're just operating on a whole nother level, and that's going to be the future.
We got a call. Take the caller.
You gonna take the call?
Silk shirts and fast hands. Speak.
What it do? I got a random question for everybody.
That's the question.
Yeah, what villain in a horror movie when you were a child scared you guys the most?
That's a good
Everybody.
question.
That is a good question.
That's a good question. You want to take that first, F?
I think for me it was Pinhead. I think because
that was scary. He was
yeah,
scared.
he scared the shit out because before that you had Jason, but Jason was quiet. You had Freddy, but Freddy was funny, right? You had Chucky, but again Chucky was kind of funny. When Pinhead from Hellraiser came out, he spoke, scared the shit out of me. Though. Just the way he looked, he was from hell. You know what I mean? He wasn't from your dreams, or he wasn't a monster. He was from hell. He had all the nails in his head, and then he spoke. Creeped me the fuck out.
And plus, he dressed in like some S&M latex.
Yo, creeped me
Like
out.
he was going
Yeah.
like he was like a dominatrix. Or
He's
something.
going to some gay
That was
fucking
pretty.
party.
Yeah,
He
he was
was
gay. He's sticking pins up your ass
What about you?
and crack. That's a good one, man.
Yeah,
Pinhead's right there for me. It's Pinhead. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a generic one. I'm gonna say it's the demon from Exorcist. It's Zuzu.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Zuzu.
okay.
Zuzu, the demon that possessed Linda Blair in Exorcist, to me always was the scariest.
Are you saying that now because you studied religion?
No.
As a kid,
I
that's
was
it.
terrified. I watched Exorcist as a young kid, and I was terrified. Honestly, if I didn't say Pazuzu, I would have said Pinhead.
Yeah,
Because the movie was dark, and the Cenobites, the
Yeah,
rest
the
of
rest
the
of the
Cenobites down here
Cenobites,
was
yeah.
scary, man. But the fact that he was from hell, he had these black eyes, pale with the S&M latex dominatrix outfit. The shit was a little scary, man.
I'll be honest, the remake does not look that bad. The remake in Hellraiser.
I didn't
New
see it.
Pinhead. And it
Pumpkinhead,
doesn't
yeah.
look that bad.
Patron Poppy and Instagram. I don't know if you haven't seen the movie Pumpkinhead.
There's an epidemic of just remaking movies this year, though. Like everything.
Yeah,
They're
they're
running out
remaking
of ideas.
They're touching too many legendary shit, man. What about you? What do you have? What's your favorite villain or more scariest?
Dude, one only for sure. Since I live in like a cabin in Tennessee and I see like a whole bunch of land, the movie It, like Pennywise, like all the forestry that's in that movie and the little like training scene that they go down to and all that just like when they have to go out to the field and stuff like that, it just looks like the area that I live in. Plus, I fucking hate clowns.
Yeah,
Pennywise. So
Pennywise
there's a band named Pennywise that I like too, and I can't even like. I even like looking at the covers of the albums because of the fucking clowns. I'm fucking 30 years old.
How do you feel about Insane Clown Posse, fan?
Music.
Yeah, you're a fucking juggalo, bro. Just say it.
They're making fun of it much, but then it's like, as people when they talk, they're not too bad. They have some like show where they're like.
Alright, now I'm gonna hang up on you because now I gotta hang up on you because you like ICP. Hang up on this piece of shit. Silk shirts and fast hands. Who the fuck is this?
Yo, what's up? Is this Anthony?
Anthony, what's good, man? How are you?
Hey, good. What's up, man? This is Slick Boxer, Rudy from over here from
Oh,
California.
Rudy, my brother. Rudy is my boy. He trains Daniel Cormier. He's Daniel Cormier's boxing coach.
Nice.
So, Rudy, what's going on, my
What's
brother?
going on, man?
Long time no talk.
Hey, good, man. I'm doing good. Having a blessed day, just getting off of work, ready to go on home and get my grind on.
How's wifey doing? She doing okay?
Wifey's doing good, man. Thank you for asking, my brother. We're blessed, man. We got two beautiful twins and a roof over our head. I can't ask for too much more.
Beautiful.
Congratulations, man. That's
Rudy,
great.
what's next for Cormier?
You know, we go up and we fight Stipe for his heavyweight title, man. July 7th.
That's gonna be a good one, man.
That's gonna be great.
That's gonna be tough, man. It ain't gonna be an easy, it's not gonna be an easy task, man. Stipe, hats off to the guy. He's a down to earth, good, righteous gentleman, man. But this is about competition and about trying to set some stone in our legacy.
And to me, Cormier Stipe is more of a bigger fight than Ngannou Stipe.
Yeah.
Now, this is a legit super fight. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited for it. I know you're gonna do a good job with Cormier. But Rudy, you have a question for us, my brother?
You know what, man? I really don't, my dude. I just wanted to touch bases with you. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since we've had a chance to chop it up a little bit. And you know what? Actually, man, I do got one. One does come to mind.
Okay,
What does come to mind? What is wrong with hip hop and just good old school music today? What is wrong with music today, my man?
Estrogen.
Yeah.
Estrogen, man. These rappers today are filled with estrogen. That's why they're wearing girl clothes, women's clothes. They're wearing makeup. Lack of fathers in the household. Single moms. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with single moms raising kids, but people need fathers. You can come out and be a great man without a father. I believe that. But not in all cases. And I believe that a lot of these rappers coming up are probably raised by single moms, been around a lot of aunts and women, and they're wearing makeup, and they didn't watch Charles Bronson gunning down 100 gang members in 1985. They don't have the machismo of the testosterone that we grew up with. We grew up in the last manly era. So this is it. Hip hop is I've accepted it already. And if you want to touch on that,
Also, a big part of it is the drugs and the medication.
Like you said, the drugs and medication. They're all popping Xanaxes and they're doped up. They're just a bunch of dopey, estrogen-filled wimps.
You remember, man, in the hip hop of
You
the hip
got a
hop
point,
of the
man.
90s.
When parents stop disciplining their kids and just letting them run amok and
That's
do
part
whatever
of
they
it.
want in the household, it brings a certain, I hate to even compare it, but it's like raising a dog. If you don't discipline that animal, its first 3-4 months of life and teach him right and wrong and reward him when he's doing right and make sure that he's disciplined when he does wrong, by the time that dog's 2.5 years old, he's going to be 80 pounds and running the streets biting everything that he can.
Well, that goes back to what Bronson was saying about the father.
Man. If we don't discipline them and praise them when they're doing right and educate them when they're doing wrong, you're right. They are going to go out and they are going to act like the kids of today instead of the yesteryears. And, what happened to going out and and playing on your bike till the sun went down? What happened to playing stickball and, with your friends and playing, tackle football in the street, which is pretty dangerous, but we all used to do that shit, That's how we got young in the summertime.
I agree with you.
That's
We
how
don't
we
act
grew
like
up.
that no more, man. We got kids with tablets in their hands, and they don't want to go outside and get their hands dirty, man, so they become a little sensified and soft. When the real world comes and touches them and they let them know exactly how cold it is, they start to freeze up and panic.
Here's the thing, man. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said the same thing. I'm like, what happened back in the days? We used to play football on the street till nighttime, till your mom called you in. We used to ride our bikes super far away, and nobody was worried about it. We'd come back. My friend said, well, nowadays, you got these creepos and these pedophiles and shit, right? But back in the days, you were riding your bike with your friends. One of those creepos came up to you. Your whole neighborhood came out and whooped his fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? That shit doesn't happen anymore. There's no more sense of neighborhood and community anymore. Think about it. There's no more sense of community either. You know what I'm saying?
And, Rudy, and I want to touch on that, Rudy. You know what's funny? Yesterday, my son, I got my son, and I got him in Shotokan karate. I just feel it's a good.
I saw that.
I feel like it's a good start for him. It's a good start.
Like you said, I was reading your post yesterday. And how you said that there was a new level today, and that you're proud of your seed, man. Those are awesome accomplishments and moments, man. And, I was blessed to have my father there for me every time that I competed and I fought, or every time I kicked a soccer through a goalpost, or every time I hit a baseball past the cones, and it's a great thing, man. When you look back and you see that your father's there, when you're 36, 38, 39, man, you remember that, and it pushes you further to be there even more for your children than your parents were for you if you were lucky enough to have them there. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Which for me, in my case, I was blessed to have my parents there.
And I think that martial arts is good for kids to get their confidence, to get that level of confidence and that level of machismo. I noticed my son yesterday went from a quiet and timid kid to a confident kid. I never seen him like that in my life. I was blown away watching my son do that test and yelling when he was throwing punches in front of hundreds of people. And I'm like, where did this kid get this confidence? And it's the martial arts, it's the MMA, it's the traditional martial arts. And I think that's what more kids need to come to. Start training more, put down the iPads, put down the iPhones, and let's start getting back to, things that are going to keep us physically active and things that are going to sharpen our mind and physically prepare us for when the time comes when we're going to get tested,
Yeah. Yo, Anthony, I can barely hear you, my brother. You're chopping out pretty bad right now.
Yo, Rudy, but my brother, listen, we'll call in another time. I want you to come on one day and be a guest, call in as a guest on the show. And good luck with you and Daniel Cormier, my brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. And you know what, man? Big ups on you speaking your mind, man. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've always had God in my life, man, and people are influenced by people that influence them. And over the years, man, it got me to pick. God never left my heart, ever. But it got me to just be more in touch with God and with Christ, man, and make sure that it's passed on to my children. So you keep doing what you're doing, man. Big ups, and I see you got your mind clear, man. You're doing well, man. Big ups to you and your family.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for calling in, Rudy.
I appreciate you, man. God bless.
Thank you, my brother. Hey, like I said a couple weeks ago, man. I've been messing with you since day one, man. It's been about 10 years now. So you keep it on up, man. You got people's ears and attention, and when you can do that, man, there's a reason for it. And you're doing a good thing, man. I'm proud of you. You're doing your thing.
All right, thank you. God bless, my brother. I'll talk to you. All right.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Tony. When we say thanks for calling in, that's your fucking cue to hang up the phone.
Tony.
Who put Tony in charge of the phone? I should be in charge of the phone.
You're fired.
You're too nice.
Yo,
listen.
Damn, first I fucked up the pizza, now I fucked the calls
Oh,
up.
you're bombing today,
Dude,
man.
when you hear us say thanks for calling in, that's your cue to go boop.
MadeByPablo.com. Go buy a hat. MadeByPablo.com. Buy a hat. Call in 347-770-0871. That's 347-770-0871. Put the banner on the thing for the people to see. MadeByPablo.com. Buy a hat. Support the company. Support the brand.
I know you got your fucking tax money. Buy 2 hats, you fucking piece of shit.
I didn't do my taxes yet, man.
No?
You didn't do it. Well, you got it till the 15th
I didn't
of
do my
April.
taxes. I should be doing them. I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of taxes, I noticed a bump in my paycheck. Remember you were saying if
Donnie
at
T.
first I did it, I have noticed.
45, praise 45. Donnie T, the Don, giving us more money in my paycheck. I'm making $100 more per paycheck.
Yeah,
Salute
I'm making
to 45. Donnie T.
What do you think about him possibly going to North Korea?
We can talk about that. I don't think Donnie T.
Think he
For
goes?
those that don't know, as the Mr. President, him going to North Korea, I think even South Korea, I believe, is a big mistake. I think that that guy Kim Jong's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Anybody that subscribes to Marxism and communism is a madman. So I feel like Donald Trump even going to South Korea is dangerous. I could believe it might be some sort of setup. I think he needs to be careful. The only way a meeting of Kim Jong and Donnie T to happen would have to be in a neutral ground. Because even though South Korea is an ally, it's too close to North Korea. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Who knows? They might put a fake Kim Jong over there and just bomb. Who knows
and
what
kill
they could do?
Bro,
Listen,
they're
It
crazy.
would be a big mistake for Donald Trump to go over there.
When I first heard about this, my first thought was like, yo, sounds like a setup.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like some kind of setup. Like maybe I'm thinking a little bit too, conspiracy theory here, but it sounded like some kind of setup. I think that he does meet with Kim Jong Un. Maybe not in North Korea, because even if he goes there, it's all gonna be set up, man. Kim Jong Un is gonna set all that shit up to make it look beautiful, so that Donnie T comes back and says, "Oh yeah, it was great. He was a great guy." Blah blah blah. Donald Trump is not a politician. He doesn't have the mind of a politician. He's not going to talk about real issues. He's going to go and they're going to suck each other off.
This is about North Korea. If Kim Jong doesn't have bad intentions, if it's not, it's about money. North Korea needs money, so he wants to become cool with America. That's it. It's either bad intentions or he needs money. That's the only logical explanation. 90s hip hop in the Instagram chat. You have respect for the King of New York, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
People coming for Tekashi.
He's better than Nas. He's better than Pop.
Whoa.
Tekashi 6ix9ine runs New York. Get your mind right, Mutt.
What's the matter with you?
Now, somebody had a question in the chat, and I think this would be a good question for F to answer. Let me see if I can find it. I'd like to get your take on the rise of cuckolding. How would you approach this situation if you found out a close family member was a cuckold?
All right, listen.
First of all, explain to people what cuckolds are.
For people who don't know what a cuckold is, it's a man who likes to watch another man have sex with his wife. It sexually arouses him. It's been used, to kind of insult other people and stuff like that. Personally, if I have someone who is my wife and who is my girlfriend, the reason they're my girlfriend is because I love them. I want to be with them. I do not want to see anybody else with them. So I don't agree with the practice. I have been approached on a couple of occasions to do that. Not that I'm aware of, not anybody in my family or any close friends that I know of are into this, but I've had a coworker come up to me and ask me, and an ex-coworker who we did become friendly, but he wasn't really my friend. And then also I had a fan who was like, yo, listen, he invited me over his house to watch the fight.
You have fans?
One or two. Not if you watch the Spic Flair video. Apparently I had 20 fans. But one of them invited me to come over the house to watch a boxing match. He said his wife would take care of everything. And then I was like, okay, what do you mean? Like, I was really confused about what he meant by that. And he was like, whatever you want to do with my wife is all right. Creep me out. It creeped me the fuck out, man, to be honest with you. One time I was offered money. And these women were not bad-looking women, but personally, I don't think I can perform with another man watching me and just getting excited about it. I don't think I'd perform. I don't think I'd be able to get hard in front of that other person.
But then it just puts, if you do something like that, I just feel like it puts you in a whole different fucking...
I'm gonna tell you my cuckold story. I never did cuckold. I've been asked multiple times, okay? Like by F, a supporter of my videos, asked me to fornicate with his wife. I never did because I'm not into that kind of stuff. Two fans asked me to fornicate with their wives and girlfriends. At one point, a worker that asked me, I'm not going to say I was in a yard, I was working in a yard, and this guy was a Puerto Rican guy, but he thought he was one of those Puerto Ricans that thought he was Italian. Slick back hair, members only jacket, so he asked me one day in the truck, he was like, listen, I would like to watch you have sex with my wife. I laughed. I thought it was a joke. I said, stop. You're joking, right? He asked me again. And I thought this guy was like, he's playing games with me. So we're on lunch break, right? I go on lunch break, and we're working in some ghetto neighborhood, so there's nothing good to eat. I go into a Wendy's to eat. So I'm sitting down in Wendy's by myself because I like to eat by myself. I like to have lunch by myself because I get time to think, put my thoughts together. You know what I mean? Formulate stuff in my brain. This guy's coming in. He comes in. He sits across from me. He goes, Anthony, I'm being serious. Can you please have sex with my wife while I watch you? I said, listen here, you fucking head for fucking fruit. I had a triple fucking cheeseburger. I smash it and I mush it and get the fuck away from me, you sick. What's the matter with you, bro? Why do you keep mentioning me this shit? Are you sick in the fucking head? But I'm like, people are into this shit,
they're
bro.
into it,
People are into watching their wives get plowed by, and then how do you lay in bed with your wife afterwards? After another man was inside of her. I work with a guy who's a swinger. A guy who's into this kind of stuff, and I abuse him all the time about it. I go, bro, it's sick. I go, you've seen more naked men in your life than fucking most women. Because when you have these swing parties, there's 8, 9, 10 naked guys on the bed. I go, dude, that's gay. Whether or not you're sleeping with women as well, there might be a cock on your fucking knee while you're banging this girl. He told me a story. He's banging the girl, and the husband came from behind and tickled his balls.
Oh.
And he didn't even do nothing. I go, bro, did you do anything? He goes, no. I look back and I gave him a dirty look. I go, bro, a guy touched your balls and you didn't put hands on him? He's like, oh, it's part of the life. I go, bro, I don't even want to say it. I could go on for days. It's sick. It's psychotic. Cuckolding is definitely. What about you, Tony? Have you ever been offered to be?
No. Thank God.
Okay.
No.
I just think.
No, but I've heard. I mean, people have told me
If you had
before.
a family relative that was a cuckold, and they told, what would you say to them? It's not your business.
That's tough. That's not really.
Well, I mean that's up to people's preference. But what I'm saying is that if you do something, if you participate in something like that, it puts you on a whole different level, fucking mentally. Like I don't feel like I could have regular logical conversations with a person thinking on that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, this
This
guy I work with, he has pictures of other guys schlongs on his phone.
Yeah.
So I said, dude, why do you have pictures? He said he's not gay. Yet he has pictures of schlongs on his phone. He said, I keep them so I can show the other swing couples, because it's like a cult. It's like a sex cult.
But dude, that's fucking insane.
I
That's
go,
what I can't. I wouldn't even be able to talk
you
to
have
people
other
like that.
men's penises on your phone. I go, you might
Forget your phone. You have other men's penises in
Right.
your wife. What the fuck are you talking about?
This guy's not into it. He doesn't have a wife. He's just into the
Oh,
swing.
okay.
He has a swing partner that he calls his girlfriend. But he's into
Oh
the
my
swing
God.
lifestyle. Now, he told me a story one day. Last year, he was in Jersey, in Atlantic City, at the Tropicana. He's banging the guy's wife. And the guy's watching. He's drunk. He hops on the bed. He starts peeing on the bed.
What the fuck?
I said, dude, did you get any urine on you? He's not going to tell me that because he knows I'll abuse him. But he told me, I'm like, dude, this is a weird lifestyle.
What if you're banging abroad and you catch a load on your back from this guy? That's one of the biggest violations.
He told me he's slept with over 2,000 women and he's been to over 1,000, 5, 6, 7, 800
This
parties.
dude probably has AIDS.
I go, dude, you're swapping bodily secretions with people every day. You're disgusting, I said. You know what I'm trying to say? But listen, it's not my thing. I'm never even consider it. Me, if I'm with a woman, I just want to enjoy the woman by myself.
Right, yeah.
Ain't nobody touching my woman. It's not happening. You know what I'm trying to say? So, if I had a family relative, I'd probably cut them off.
Yeah.
And I would keep my. It's weird.
I'd be creeped out. Yeah.
Because now you have a girl. You bring your girl around these people. Their minds
know
are
what they're
depraved.
thinking, right,
Their
right,
minds
right.
are depraved, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think I would necessarily say anything. I'd mind my business in that way, but I'd be creeped out, and I probably wouldn't bring my girl out
You know what I'm talking about.
for the same way. You know
You
what I
know
mean?
exactly what I'm talking about. So So anyway, I mean, no cuckolding over here, man. No cuckolding over here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about we talk about. Anybody want to call in 347-770-0871?
It's been an hour and a half.
Really, that's it?
It's been short show.
Actually, no, more than an hour and a half, because it's 138 minutes.
So 2 hours and change.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, it's about 2 hours. It looks
All
like.
right, so we're gonna go with
You want to wrap this up, or you want to see if anybody else wants to call?
like I said, we've been recording for 2 hours. Nobody wants to call in. We already had enough callers.
Yeah.
347-770-0871. I'll put it in the chat. Dub City, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Arati, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Come on, man.
Say hello to FU, Mutts.
Fucking catch a load on his fucking chest from another guy.
Yeah, man. This guy is, you know, I like the guy. He's a nice guy. You know, but, you know, he's a sick bastard, you know? So, guys, I'm putting the number. If you're not going to call in, we're going to wrap up the show, and it will be on iTunes and SoundCloud tomorrow. F wants to show you his Supreme NBA joints, you know what I mean? Air Force Ones, right?
Yeah.
Got Air Max 270s on right now. I'm not going to take my shoe off, you know what I mean?
Tony's wearing Toms.
No, I'm wearing the Feezies. I'm wearing the Feezies.
Tony's wearing academic sneakers from the fucking Marshall's clearance rack.
What was the name of those sneakers that
The hats, copper hat, made by Pablo.
Tony Montana.com. No, not Tony
Made by
Montana.
Pablo.com.
Who the fuck? It was a Spike Lee shoe.
My hat.
Spike Lee. Remember Spike Lee had a shoe, not the Jordans. What are they called? Flax or something like that? It was Joe Montana.
But you remember
Joe Montana and fucking Spike Lee had a shoe together.
I didn't even know that.
Okay.
No, you know the
is that?
Shaqs? The Shaq shoes?
Oh, the Shaqs. Forget about it. I was never a fan of Ewings. I know a lot of people like Ewings.
I loved Ewings when I was younger, and I got hyped for the re-release for them, and I don't like them on my feet.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't like them on my feet. I like when I was a kid, you had that nostalgic feeling about them, but I have a few pairs and I'm not crazy about them.
Yeah, somebody said Tony wears Crocs.
You look like you wear Crocs. You fucking vegan.
He wears fucking chancletas. the thong
The
sandals.
thong chanclas. Made by Pablo thong chanclas coming this summer.
Yo, I can't believe we forgot this shit. The OJ, the lost tapes, the confessions. You guys seen that?
That's
We didn't
not lost tape confession. See it?
They're saying, is it a confession? But did you see it?
Yeah, I
see
saw
it.
parts of it. The thing is, they're not saying it's a confession.
No,
The thing
of
is,
course not.
They asked him a question, hypothetically, if you did this,
right.
how'd it go down? And he starts talking
Right.
like, these are real memories. He's like, well, I remember this. No, I mean, hypothetically, I remember this. It's like, oh, it was so creepy.
Yeah.
Yo, it was so creepy. But that's it. You can't be found guilty anymore. It's over. OJ's done,
I'm so over O.J. Simpson. At this point, I believe he killed Nicole, but I'm not gonna keep it. It's he got away with it. That's it. I'm done talking about it.
Yeah, he got away with it.
You want to close out this show? Let's close out the show with something on a positive note. We went, we talked about a lot of dog stuff.
Okay.
I want to know, and I don't want you to hide this right now. I want to know, what is your guilty pleasure? Who's an artist you listen to that I wouldn't suspect?
Okay.
And I want Tony to answer it too.
What's the question? I missed the question.
What's an artist that you listen to
Musically,
that it's nobody would really suspect that you listen to?
You want to go first, though?
But you're talking about an artist that I listen to frequently.
That
People wouldn't suspect.
a little guilty pleasure.
All right. This is why I don't ask you questions, because you could.
I'll give two totally different answers.
Go ahead.
So one would be somebody like J Balvin, which is like Spanish music, and on the other the side of the spectrum is like Frank Sinatra. So like people would look at me, obviously wouldn't suspect
They
that.
would suspect you. Do you listen to J Balvin 1,000%? What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I'm a hip hop head, or I just rap.
I wanna know,
So,
But you look like J Balvin.
but I listen to that stuff. I don't want to say hours, but I listen to it because I feel like I gotta take a break from this fucking rap shit. So I listen to from Spanish music all the way to fucking Frank Sinatra in the same day.
That's a good spectrum. But see, I listen to all that shit too. I listen to reggae. I listen to old rock and roll, jazz, Frank Sinatra, hip hop. A guilty pleasure that I listen to the French singer Edith Piaf. I don't know if you're familiar. She has a beautiful voice.
We got a caller.
There's gotta be. I hope this is a good caller.
We got a caller.
All right, Silk Shirts, Fast Hands. Who's this?
This is Rocky Badger. What's good?
Rocky, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man?
Rocky, is it true that you become a soy boy? Is that true?
Say that again?
Is it true that you've become a soy boy?
A soldier boy?
A soy boy.
A soy boy.
A cuck.
A cuck. A snowflake.
Is it true that?
What's going on? What's going on, Rocky? What's the question?
I don't got a question. I got more of a statement.
Make your
You
statement.
know, I just had twin boys 9 days ago. God bless.
Congrats.
Congratulations, man.
Congrats.
Thank you. And you know, I've been thinking, man, I can't wait to bring them to Toys R Us and do what I did as a kid, looking for Sega Genesis games and whatnot. And now they're closing. And I think it's just, again, it speaks to this new world that I'm sure some people are in love with. You know, you can get your shit from Amazon, shipped in 2 days. But, you know, that's something my kids aren't going to get to do, you know, and so it bums me out. It's fucked up, I think.
You know
Pardon
what?
the French.
Take them to Blockbuster Video.
Yeah, Blockbuster too. They're never experienced that. You know, to be honest, I do like the streaming of movies and whatnot, but there's something about going there. You know, when you were a kid, you thought Toys R Us was like everything in there was $100,000 when you were a little kid. It seemed like it was the size of like 6 Home Depots. So that was an experience that, you know, I cherished as a little kid. Now, you know, where do you take your kid to go get toys? You have to go find some retro shops like Old School, Back to the Future Part 2.
The truth is, you won't be able to. You're gonna have to go to. You're gonna have to order online. This is the new world we live in. You can't even physically go to a toy store, and your kid can't even experience the pleasure of going into a store and surrounded by toys and picking out the one he wants. Honestly, this whole I'm vehemently against. I'll be honest with you. This is why I still collect. I'm a physical copy collector of movies. I'm not with this digital era. I'll be honest with you. I like the conveniency of Amazon, but I don't like businesses and stores being closed down and mom and pop stores closing down because it just it destroys the character of neighborhoods. It destroys the character of America in general. Everything is so.
It also puts too much power on the hands of one company.
Taking your kid to Toys R Us and having them pick out a toy or two was like Christmas every day. Every time you brought them to a toy store, it was like Christmas for them, man. And it's just not the same. And even back to Blockbuster Video, it's not the same. You go in there, you look through movies. It was fun. It was something your whole family can go, oh, one movie for me, one movie for you. You know what I mean? It was just like a cool experience that we can no longer have. We can no longer pass.
I love going to Blockbuster
Me too,
on
man.
Friday night. I would get one new release, one
Yep.
cheesy horror movie. I would get some popcorn, some Milk Duds, some Whoppers, some soda, and it would be a night. That experience is gone now. You know what I mean? Everything's streamed. You sit on your couch and you're surfing for a movie
Yeah, it's
for
not the same.
2 hours before you even watch the movie. Sometimes you don't even watch the movie. You spend the time you're supposed to be watching the movie looking for a movie
Yeah,
to
it's
watch.
not the same.
So, you know, when you're in a store, you don't have that time. You're not going to sit in the store for 2 hours. So you have to grab something, bring it home, and watch it. You know what I mean? So,
Rocky, what'd you name the twins? Dick,
What's
hello.
that?
What you name the
What
twins?
did you name the twins?
Thor and Loki.
No, hang up. He's lying.
nah, Rocky, have a good one, my brother.
Rocky,
Appreciate
later.
the call, man. Next caller.
Silk
Who's
Shirts, what's up?
The silk shirts and fast hands?
Yeah.
You know who the fuck you called. Who is this?
Yeah, who is this?
Whoa. Hold on a second.
No, you hold on a second. You called the show. What do
You
you
guys
want,
are
bro?
talking about cuckolding and buying kids' toys. When you guys gonna repent? Enough
I'm
of
gonna
this
make an
filthy,
exception, and I'm gonna
meaningless
fuck over your fucking
conversation.
wife. How about that?
Let's talk about Daniel being thrown in the lion's den. Let's talk about your spiritual soul. I'm concerned for you guys, especially you and Tony.
Hang up on this
I
fucking
think-
kook.
Hold on, don't hang up.
No, hang
don't
up
hang,
on this piece
don't
of
hang
crap.
up on my brother in Christ, brother. Preach. I want you to preach right now.
Listen.
Listen,
You're not gonna
this
preach
is-
to me.
this is all
This
out of
guy's
love.
obviously
I know
fucking lying.
the
I'm
devil
hearing
in
his
you.
voice.
You have respect for
Might
him.
you think this is bad, but listen. I've
No, you listen.
I've had a
No.
conversation
You-
with the
I don't
angels,
listen.
and they
You
told
listen.
me that you and Tony are on the path of dismality. They told me they see fire and brimstone in your future.
You're on the path of bestiality. How about that? I know for a fact that you have kids in your basement. right now.
Listen,
You
calm
hear your
down,
fucking
calm
voice.
down.
You have fucking
Just
pizza.
repent.
You have pizza
Accept Lord
parties
Jesus
in your
Christ as
fucking
your
house.
Savior. Respect, follow Brother Anthony. Follow Brother Anthony. Follow his example. I'm pleased with what he's
The only
doing.
brother Anthony I respect is the one from WWF.
Listen, my brother, I'm trying to convert these heathens, but they're giving me a
He's
hard
done
time.
fine work.
It's not gonna
The
happen.
thing I don't like with FU is he's playing both sides. You can't serve the cross and the pentagram, F. You must pick a side.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you
Free
something.
yourself from the burden of sin.
You know what I don't like about you? The fact that you sound like a gay cowboy. You call up my fucking show and tell me what you don't like about me. Who the fuck are you?
Hold on. I have a question for you. This is Tony. This is Tony. So
What's up, Tony?
you believe in God? You believe in Jesus?
I do.
Or do you believe in God and in Jesus, or do you
Nice.
believe in one or the other?
I believe in Jesus Christ.
So
I
who
believe
was
in his
Jesus
words.
Christ to you?
I believe in the Holy Bible.
Who was Jesus Christ to you?
Jesus Christ to me? Who is he?
Yeah. Who is he to you?
He's
He
God,
is
brother.
perfection personified. He is
There's no perfection, but all right, go
the
ahead.
creator. And
Okay.
he is the way to salvation. Look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just putting it out there.
I understand. I'm Catholic.
We had Stephen Hawking die, a non-believer, and it's your guess where he ended up. So I just don't want you to end up in an eternal lake
Listen,
of fire and
we only
brimstone.
have room for one religious kook on this show, and his name is Bloodstained Link.
That's right.
Hang up on this fuck, please.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you. God bless, my man.
Go to hell.
All right, I love you. All right,
Anybody? That's cool. That was fun.
that was fun. You want me to go to hell, F? You better repent, okay?
Listen,
I
I'll
think, Tony, I
repent
think,
on
Tony,
my last
I think
name.
Tony's on the right track, though. I got a good feeling in Tony. All
Listen,
right?
I'll
This was
repent.
good,
I think
though.
I'll be all right.
This is what we need. We need
I think
this
I'll be
kind
all
of
right.
dialogue.
I'll be honest with you. I don't believe that guy. I don't believe he's a real follower.
That's
the
why I
thing.
asked
think
him,
he
who
just
is
called
Jesus to
I
you?
think he just called to
Of
fucking
course,
have a conversation.
of course. He's a
That's
troll.
why I
He's
gave him
trolling.
that shit.
Yeah,
you know what
he's
I'm saying?
trolling.
I don't give you that shit because, like I tell people, the reason I don't attack Bloodstain for his beliefs is because he has his faith. He's true to it.
Right.
He's not constantly trying to get you to believe him. Oh, you have to believe me, or I can't respect you. No, it's not.
Well,
We
you
don't
know
like
what?
each other.
Listen, you make a good point there, because if you read the Bible, when Jesus would preach, when people would walk away, he wouldn't be like, "Yo, come back over
Right,
here."
right, right.
You either take it, or you
Or
don't
you
take
did.
it. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's
You
my
scared-
mentality.
You scared the kid. Let's get out of here now.
I mean, I'm gonna, like I said, I always use my platform for my beliefs. If
Yeah.
you don't like people want to follow me, listen, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm being ridiculed right now for cursing too much, which is something
Did you
that I
curse
work
a
on.
lot?
I did curse a little bit. Towards the end of the show, I need to stop cursing a little bit. Something I'm working on. You know what I mean? But we're gonna close out the show. I think that was a good finale. You know what I mean?
Thanks for the call, honestly.
He
It was
stood, he
fun.
stood in his pulpit and said you're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
His false prophet over here calls the show, tells me what's what.
All right, so Silk Shirts and Fast Hands, episode 16.
Round of applause. This is a good show.
It was fun. It was fun.
And we're still trying to get on the Spotify stuff.
All right.
The thing is, like, it's
Tone, run it down. Give us some
Yeah,
news
I
about
mean-
Silk Shirts and Fast Hands.
I mean, the thing is that Spotify doesn't allow submissions, but I know that us getting on Spotify is gonna
What do
bring
you
a
mean
lot
they
of
don't- What do you
new.
mean they don't allow submissions?
They don't allow podcast submissions.
Oh, so they don't have any.
No, so like what I submitted a form that basically on Spotify that basically said, okay, we'll consider it, but it's not guaranteed. Like we're just gonna look at it. If we happen to stumble across your application and we think that it fits what we currently have and what we want, we'll put it on there. From what I see, a lot of the podcasts that are on Spotify are very professional. They're like business stuff or like school, very like
What are you
intellectual.
saying, that we're not professionals?
No. But
We're
I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying
we're
is that
not.
if we did get the podcast on Spotify, it would allow us to organically reach
Right.
a bigger audience than we do now.
Basically, fuck with us now because once we blow up and get on Spotify, we're not going to
Right.
take your
I mean,
calls.
I could get an email a week from now that says, "Oh, you're
Yeah,
the
we're not going
the
to take those
podcast."
bullshit calls and all that other shit.
Real quick. Somebody's pestering me in the chat. Just let me answer this question real quick, because it's a very simple answer.
Okay.
And it's a faith.
What's
thing.
the question?
Somebody asked me, if God is love, why is there evil? And it's very simple. There's evil because we have free will to decide what we want to do. It's a simplified question. If you want God to step in every single time an evil act is going to happen, according to his morality, that means you're a robot. You understand? That means you don't have free will. So evil exists because of our desire to carry out the deeds. Simple question. I hope that answered the question. Okay? Now, you weren't pestering me, but I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question. Evil exists because we have free will. It's quite simple.
Right.
You know what I mean? If God stepped in for every bad thing we did according to His moral authority, and His moral authority is, you know, no fornication, no adultery, you know, no murder, no. Every time you sleep with your girlfriend out of wedlock, He's gonna step in. Don't do that. That means you don't have the free will to do it. Evil exists because of free will.
Blessing, let me ask you
don't feel
this.
Sorry, I'm sorry that was rude just now. You weren't pestering me. I apologize. Okay.
Let me ask you this, because you know I believe in God and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So the thing is, do you believe, or I don't study the Bible like that, but is there another? So do you believe that this world is split between good and evil, and not evil because we have the free will to do whatever we want, but more because there actually is another force. So it's almost like God, the good God, or whatever you
Devil.
want, and the devil. Do you believe that that does exist, or what does it say in the Bible about
I
that?
believe, okay, from a biblical standpoint, is that we got free will. Sin, we were supposed to walk in union with God. You know what I mean? And sin separated us from God. So we're on this planet and we're separated from God. The only way to come to God, according to the biblical scriptures, is through Jesus Christ. He brings God and man back together again. He's the mediator. So God is still sovereign and He's overseeing everything. But according to the Bible, specifically Ephesians 6:12, there is external forces, evil, spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them, that can manipulate events, manipulate your mind, interfere, tempt you, push you to do certain things. So yes, there is external forces. You know what I'm trying to say? But technically, all of us are evil. Or there's different levels to it. You might be, according to God's morality, there's different levels of evil. You understand? So technically, we're all evil, really, according to the scriptures. You know what I'm trying to say? And we're all sinners. That's why we need a savior. So when we die and we go see judgment, we're guilty, and a judge is going to send you to your deserved punishment. So we have a caller. Let's see what they say.
Silk shirts, fast hands. Who's this?
Silk shirt, fast hands.
All right. I'm fucking tired. I gotta get out of here. Listen, I want to close the show off with some Edith Piaf since I didn't get to fucking speak on how wonderful her voice is. And we started the show with some Craig Mack. Rest in peace to him. I think this was a great episode. Thank you guys for calling. Thank you for your fucking questions, whether they were shitty or smart. And we will be back, man. We will have guests this season. I want to call this new year a new season. We're going to have people coming in.
Yep.
Madebypablo.com. Go to madebypablo.com. Check out FU on Bandcamp, EFFYOO. Blessing, you got any parting words?
Like I said, before I said episode 16. It was a good episode. We touched on a multitude of subjects. We're gonna have more guests on the show. We're gonna have a more, we did the YouTube live today for the first time. We didn't have the camera guy today, right?
Right.
Matt, he wasn't here today. He couldn't make it. Next time it'll be a little bit more.
Well, I heard his girlfriend tried to escape from the basement prison he has her in. So
when you guys told me he had a girlfriend, I couldn't believe it. To be honest with you.
I never knew he had a girlfriend, so.
Yeah.
But.
So anyway, it was a good episode. We're trying to get on Spotify. We're on YouTube now. Official YouTube channel.
YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud. We got an Instagram page.
We got Instagram.
Madebypablo.com. I'm episode 17. When's that coming? April? You think?
Yeah.
Sometime in April. We might have Rock Mossy for that episode. Rock Marciano, if everything goes right. Yeah, that's it. Any closing statements?
Nah, man, go enjoy your fucking St. Patrick's Day, you drunk pieces of shit.
Yeah, everybody be safe though.
Don't be safe. Fucking let God sort out the bad people. You have to crash and die.
Madebypablo.com. Go buy a hat.
Madebypablo.com.
That's right. Read your Bible. All right.
Alright.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Play some Edith Piaf. That's not it. That's not
crazy. That girl that asked me that question, that's
Who?
the girl that asked me the question about,
The black